actually hadn't seen those quotes, so.
Yeah. So why would one guy's diary somehow indicate anything except for one guy's thoughts? So weird.
Except that it's played out into genocide and ethnic cleansing over it.
How was it played out? He died before the state of Israel was formed.
Right, so the question we're evaluating, Normo, is whether or not it was doomed to evolve into something genocidal and supremacist or not.
You said it just like less than 5 minutes ago. Why don't you give us the definition of Zionism, which I asked for in the first place? Isn't that reasonable?
I didn't hear you, okay.
Yes, you did.
It depends who you ask. It depends who you ask. I'll answer the question.
I'm asking you.
I'm going to answer.
Great.
So there's two different common definitions of Zionism. The way you probably, I assume, define it.
Don't do anything about me. Just read it from a book or a definition.
So the modern, the classic definition that modern Western Jews use is, Jews' right to exist in their historic homeland or whatever, but many of us Jews, people like me who grew up Zionist, right, with Zionist families and Zionist homes, we were taught about Zionism more as a historical movement that founded the state, and it was this magical, euphoric time in our history, and then it was over, and then the state exists on its own, and it evolved the way it evolved, and has not much to do with Zionism. So I'm what you call a post-Zionist. I think Zionism was a movement that founded the state. I'm ambivalent on whether it was a good thing or a bad thing, but at this point, we need new ideas, not old ideas.
Okay, so how about 2 words, Buttercup? Self-determination. How's that sound?
Can I get in the queue?
Wait, I'm talking.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes.
For new ideas.
Let Agent jump in.
Well, what am I still talking to? I want to ask Buttercup, how about 2 words? Self-determination. Doesn't everybody deserve that right?
Yes, and the Palestinians also deserve self-determination.
I agree that they deserve self-determination. That's why they've been offered a state 7 times. We always
not in 20 years. Not in 20 years, though.
Well, that's because they've been at war with us for 20 years after they.
That's not a reason to stop trying to solve the problem of ruling over.
You can't make it's the sound of one hand clapping. You can't make peace if the other side doesn't want to make peace. Go ahead, Rafi.
Go ahead, Rafi. It's Rafi. That's Mike.
Agent, 1 second. But you're saying we haven't tried, but we tried prior to. What's the definition of insanity, Buttercup?
The thing is, ruling over millions of people is not a long-term sustainable plan for the Jewish people.
Answer the question. What's the definition of insanity?
Because that's a rhetorical question. You're going to make me say doing the same thing over and over again? That's actually, I'm so glad you asked that, Rafi. That's actually a great question. This is a point of agreement we have. So the status quo, Rafi, Israel's been doing the same thing over and over again. Its strategy hasn't changed in the last 50 years. And what has happened? It led to October 7, right? So the definition of insanity means we knew a new status quo, something different, not what we've been doing before, which has failed to deter terror. It's failed to deter our enemies, right?
Yes, Agent, you're going to go. Before I agree with you, the IDF was operating on defense. Because before we would always get hit, we would do something, and then
But their strategy beyond that, not just do something, they would be disproportional, right? And they thought a disproportional response would deter the enemy.
But hold on.
But it failed to deter the enemy, right?
Hold on, Buttercup, 1 second. For years, Israel was under attack, and it's true, right? We were under attack. Again, a rocket flew in here, a rocket flew in there, but constantly once a month, once a week, a rocket was flying. One time Israel goes in, and some Western country government comes in, says Israel couldn't do it, guys pull back, Israel pulls out. Again, we wait until we get fucking shot a rocket at. And I believe that was insane of Israel. Because constantly we were getting hit, we were trying to attack, and then somebody would come and intervene, and tell us to pull out.
Great, so we have a point of agreement. We have a point of agreement now.
Do you agree that this was happening, correct?
We agree that the status quo has failed to protect...
Well, no, but he's asking you what the status quo was. Because the status quo between 2 people just shaking hands
So
and then
I
one
think we're
punches
both
the
saying the same
other
thing.
is different. No, there's a difference between what he's
Let
describing.
me clarify.
This time, Israel went on the offense, not on the defense.
No, they didn't. They were responded to October 7. That's defense.
So we're on the offense now. It seems to be working.
It's Lebanon is on the, look at Israel. They're in Lebanon, that's offense. With the Hamas, how they hit them this start, how they hit Gaza this time. Israel never hit them before like that. It set them backwards. This is offense, this is different. And you see Hamas is different now.
Okay, so that's where I disagree. Let me respond.
Buttercup, hold on, Buttercup. There hasn't been a rocket that has flown out of Hamas.
Am I allowed to talk or no?
Yes.
So you said this is different, what they did with Gaza. I would argue that it's not different at all, because in fact, if you've been following Gaza and you were paying attention during cast lead and iron, whatever, all the different incursions into Gaza in the last 20 years, which we've watched closely, in each subsequent war, Hamas would strike, right? They would shoot a rocket, or they'd kidnap a soldier, or they'd kill, kidnap a kid or whatever. And what would happen in response? Israel would respond disproportionately. They'd wipe out like buildings, and 1,000 people would die, right, for one person. Now we have something similar, where they came in and killed that. And the thinking, the logic, the strategy of Israel was having a disproportional response will deter for future attacks.
Right.
But in fact, what happened?
Eliminate the
Stop talking for 2 seconds, or I'm going to move you down. But in fact, what happened is each of these attacks, this disproportional response, not only failed to prevent another attack, but the next attack was worse, and the next response was worse. So this has been like an escalatory system of like 5 or 6 wars in a row that culminated in October 7, that ultimately culminated in the Jewish people committing a genocide, right?
That's not
The
true.
children of the Holocaust committing a genocide, what I consider to be genocide.
Trying to get him to
So listen, this is how it ended. What I would say it's a continuation of a previous trend that is not actually continuing the status quo. It's not breaking it.
No, before October 7th, we were not in Gaza.
Norm.
Yes.
1 second, that agent.
There were 5 wars in Gaza, Cal, before October 7.
What was the death count of those compared to this one?
And we were
It
not
was
in
a
Lebanon.
similarly disproportionate.
No,
There'd be like
you
3,
know-
there'd be like
you know
6
what we're
dead
doing
soldiers,
now?
and there'd be 1,000 dead Palestinians.
Now we're eliminating
Mostly
the enemy.
civilians.
That's a different strategy. We're eliminating. Yeah.
So if someone came
Not the Lydia, go back to Australia.
I'm talking to myself. Sorry, and shut the fuck up. Amir, you shut the fuck up too.
should know the debate rule. Is it my turn?
Yes, it's your turn.
Thank you.
Go.
Yeah, I wanted to just touch on that. So the question, going back to the question, which was this the genocidal blah 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 inevitable, or was it there was some way to avoid it? It goes back to the one hand clapping analogy that someone mentioned.
That was me, Agent.
Yeah, that Norm mentioned. So yeah, I think there could have been kumbaya for sure. Like if the peoples surrounding Israel, the neighbors of Israel, they have I assume I view them as having agency, both individually and collectively. Now, had they chosen to make peace and freely trade and just be good neighbors and supportive neighbors, even to try to maintain the defense of their neighbors, in fact, like make sure there's no rockets being fired from their own territories into Israel, or just straight up taking their armies and attacking Israel various times. It could have been a beautiful relationship between Israel and the regions, and there wouldn't have to be. I'll just take your premise and say there's a genocide. I mean, then there wouldn't have to be a genocide if Israel had never been attacked. There would not be a genocide.
I hear what you're saying. I hear your point. What you're ignoring is the fact that there were spoilers on the Israeli side as well. When there were good attempts at peace, there were spoilers within the Palestinians and also among the Israelis, right? It was Israelis that killed Rabin and tried to thwart the Oslo
That was
deal,
one
right?
Israeli, not plural Israeli.
So-
But there were actually mobs of them in the streets trying to thwart it, right? They had lynch mobs.
Would have been jail.
There were lynch
one
mobs.
killer.
There were.
No, this is not.
You want to see videos of them?
No,
Of the
but
mobs of the
there
Israelis
was one
opposing the deal?
person who did this.
It's very
Now, we do have, you know what's different? Now
It
we
was
have the
incited by
Abraham
lynch
Accord.
mobs that filled the streets of
No, it
Israel.
was not. He was a crazy person. They put him in jail.
Buttercup.
I'll just put a link in the chat to the mobs.
Please, with the links in the chat. So
In
we
fact,
do have
Netanyahu was involved in those
We have
mobs.
peace with Egypt. We have peace with Jordan. We have peace with Lebanon. We have peace with UAE. We have peace with Bahrain. So this is
You deny that there's
we're trying.
spoilers on the Israeli side?
What's that?
You decide that there's spoilers on the Israeli side that prevent
What are you
peace.
talking about spoilers? We have the Abraham Accords. How's it? What is spoilers?
I'm saying there's no Kahanas toward peace in the Israeli side.
There was no war. Been dead for 30 years.
Yeah, everybody shut up for 1 second. Everybody shut up for 1 second. Buttercup, do you have Yaakov blocked?
I don't think so. Let me check.
Well, check, because he can't come in, and I know Glow and Daniel are not blocking him, and so aren't I.
You would never block.
You don't make.
Hold on.
You make peace with your enemies. There was no war between.
No, we have been. No, we've had.
Here,
There
I'm
was
gonna
no
copy
with
it.
What do
anybody.
you mean by peace? There was no.
All right, I'm gonna go down for a second.
So go down first.
There was no war
Yeah.
between UAE
Yeah, what
and
else?
Israel. So
And there was no.
I don't really want to unblock some of these people.
We have
So
peace
I'll go down.
cooperation
You
and
don't even
security.
know
Seriously,
peace.
block.
Maybe you don't know the beginning.
We have peace, cooperation, and security.
What are you
Don't
talking
look
about?
into you. I'm talking about the Abraham Accords. Maybe
That's
they're
not a
Jews
peace.
didn't
What are you
read.
talking about? There was no
Sure, that's peace, cooperation, and security.
there was a
In fact, UAE now has mutual defense with Israel, which
Yeah,
is
but there was no
also
war.
a change. These are all
your
new
enemy
things.
that you had war with.
These things did not
Maybe
exist
you don't
before
understand the
Trump.
definition of
I guess
peace.
maybe you don't understand.
Buttercup, 1 second.
Didn't we have a war with Egypt? Now we have a peace deal. Didn't we have a war with
UAE? No, there was
Now
no
we
war
have
with
Didn't
UAE.
we have a war with Lebanon? Didn't we have a war with Lebanon? Now we have a peace.
All right, everyone mute up.
So, you know what we're learning?
UAE. There was no.
Now we're learning about peace through strength.
Hold on. Buttercup, how do you have Yaakov blocked?
Yeah, that's anti-Semite.
That's just weird,
He
bro.
hates Jews.
He talked a lot of shit about me. It's fine. It doesn't matter.
I talked about your politics. If I ever said anything personal, I don't
Yeah.
remember it, and I
He's
apologize,
the most
okay?
mild-mannered person on the app. If you
I
haven't,
know. I thought we were friends. I was really hurt to hear him talk.
Okay, well, I apologize, and I don't remember it, but if I did and I offended you, that was not my intention.
you're literally the least offensive person on the app.
I mean, I can play it if you want me to roll the clip, but
No,
What are you gonna play now?
no.
I'll bet you $10 you have no such report.
I accept your apology. I accept your apology.
It's truthful and honest. It's truthful and honest, so, like...
I'm gonna give you the benefit of the doubt. I want to give you the benefit of the doubt.
These are your peoples, unblock them, let's move on.
Okay.
I have one question.
Fuck off, shake.
I have one question for Buttercup. If you just block all these people, don't you just create an echo chamber in your room? You want an echo chamber with just one side of the story?
That's what she does. She's in
So
the
there's some people
media.
who came after me, Glow, and they put me on a list to prevent me from coming to Israel. And they put me on a list they put my mugshot on a thing to Canary Mission to paint me as some terrorist
did not.
anti-Semitic. But Yaakov participated.
No,
Yaakov participated in the doxing that.
No, I did not. No, I did not.
I will agree.
Did you have okay, we don't have to go over it.
We got her! She can't go back to Israel! Oh my god!
Politics, Glow, it has to do with being.
And Normal probably has done that. He's in a
You're a terrorist, Buttercup.
Normal, you're
You believe in the violence of
Or can you give me the mod back, Ref? I'll help you babysit.
No, but you have the people, you have
I don't. You don't have them all blocked.
You're a liar.
I'm unblocked now, Buttercup.
You've destroyed your credibility.
Hold up. Buttercup, hold up. Let's be fair. I don't have anybody who wants me fucking dead blocked. I let everybody come into this room to speak. Even I even modded you, right? You saw my good faith. But you have a bunch of people blocked. Like, are you joking? You're preventing others.
But they actually came after me in a violent way, though.
What violent way?
That's a lie, Buttercup.
I don't like echo chambers.
Russell.
I'm here. Nobody's coming in violent. You have people blocked. Buttercup. I'm sorry to say. You're preventing other people.
All right. Well, then I can't be on the stage. I'm sorry. I really enjoyed talking to you, Rafi. We'll do it again some other time.
You're a bad
You would talk live with me. I wanted to.
It doesn't matter. You didn't have anything genuine to say, anyways.
You're a shotgun.
You're in a Shanderacho!
No, I am better.
Shame on you.
Yeah, but
you're doing the dance of joy right now.
No. She got what she deserved.
Yeah, you were. Hold on.
And I
Hold on, Soren, shut up. Okay, guys, let's get back to the.
Thank you. You can say shut the fuck up, Soren. Udia.
Okay, good guy. This is Norm. Stop instigating. Let's get back to the topic. Zionism, right to defend or ethnic cleansing. Who hasn't spoke?
I think everybody in this room agrees that everybody deserves self-determination. So everybody in this room is a Zionist.
He said, who hasn't spoken? El Normo gets off the mic.
Everybody.
Not Epstein.
No.
Everybody.
Not Epstein, I just followed.
Soren, shut the fuck up. Norm, shut up.
Sure.
Perfect. Black Buttercup, I can't bring you up. You keep going fucking into the answer. Let fucking game below. Bring her up. Fuck, she's so annoying.
So Soren and El Norman,
I'm saying
have you guys like fallen in love lately?
I didn't.
Guys.
I think you need me to help
Soren and
babysit.
Normo, have you guys fell in
Yes,
love?
but I want you to unblock a bunch of fucking people. Stop blocking.
How about I
people.
screenshot my block list? I'll share it with you, okay?
Share with me, I'll tell you who I need you to unblock.
Fine, deal. Deal.
Let's be fair. Then you can
Fair.
block everybody.
Can you do a talk live with me? I'm trying to. I can't.
Hold on
Later,
one second.
Jakob, not now.
Let me deal with Buttercup right now. Here, let me mod her up. I'll mod her back up. I'll be fair. I hope you're
Am I off your block list? Am I off your block list? Buttercup?
Hold on, cat love.
Should I leave the room? I want to be able
No,
to come back
one
in.
second.
Derisive! Hey! How was your pride? Are you feeling more prideful? I looked up gay rights today. It turns out there are no such thing. There's just advocacy. And there's a couple, like, 10 things. I was like, what are the top 10 gay rights? One of them was like adoption rights and no harassment at work rights.
Are you blocking Baby? Oh no, Baby's in the bleeding.
Why do you have to mod her if she's got everyone blocked? Just
Well,
be
we're gonna go through her list quickly right now. We'll be, like again, if there's some people that need to be blocked, we'll leave them blocked. If some people that is just not fair, I will.
Like, this is so
Alright,
much
so you want me to
extra
DM
work.
you in the back channel?
Just be a normal speaker. Don't be a mod. Like, this is
Yeah,
ridiculous.
I'm not sure to be blocked.
Well, I'm a good moderator. He needs help babysitting.
Indeed,
Oh
you
my
can
God,
mod
you're
her
a
out of
horrible
that.
Moderator.
It's ridiculous.
Entire community.
That's not a way of talking to a lady.
Well, no, that's the honest truth.
Guys.
I believe in honesty, unlike
No wonder why you still
I'm not single.
Thanks for bringing this up, Soren. You're the one that can't talk to women. You told me I should be raped by IRGC, so you should shut the fuck up.
Wow.
He told me he was asexual. Is that true or not? Isn't that weird?
You're a Zionist.
Isn't that bizarre? But you're a Zionist. Aren't you?
And a liar.
Aren't you a Zionist? Don't you believe in everybody deserves
Not
self-determination,
Epstein.
including the
I'm not the
Jews?
follower of Epstein.
But Epstein is dead. He doesn't have
Well,
any
his
power.
ideology is still alive. Look at my.
What is his ideology?
Look at
Rudia,
the guy
tell us.
next to the.
What is his ideology?
What's the name
Tell
of
us.
the guy next to Epstein?
You mean in the AI that you created?
It's
You
not
have
an
a weird,
AI. He's
you
your
have a
friend.
weird sexual fascination
But
with me, and
It does look sexual.
We have you on
He's,
record.
he's a very sexual
No,
person.
no, we have you on record.
What do you mean? I don't. No, you don't. You're
Alright,
a
so look at my
liar.
block list, Rafi.
I said over and over, there's nothing to defend. He's a dead man. How do you defend a dead
We
man?
have you on record. There's no way
You don't even make sense.
Oh, was it
possibly
normal
defend a
that you
dead man?
asked, Danny?
Buttercup, you want me to back
What is a waste of time?
There's 3 or 4 people I want you to unblock.
Yeah. Text me who and I'll unblock them.
Okay.
Oh my God, does this have to be all about her and her crazy
Are you
shenanigans?
jealous?
No, it's just it's wasting time. I want to watch this game. I want to watch the United States kill Bosnia and Herzegovina in soccer. The same way we're watching Israel and the United States kill the IRGC in real life.
Oh, you're
This
jealous.
is what
So
we
you
should
keep
be
on
talking
talking.
Damn.
All you want to do is talk.
No,
You're jealous.
no.
Let's
If
hear
you have
from
something
Dude.
intelligent to say, go ahead and say it.
Jealous. I don't really
Happy
have much to
candidate.
say because the foolishness in this room on both sides is really fun. And so I have nothing. Thanks for meeting. Foolishness from both sides.
So let's hear something intelligent from you.
No, first of all, I was trying to tell this guy that I should stop attacking people because there's nothing to do.
Everybody stay up so we
accidentally mute.
Yeah, I know. Make sure you're always off mute before you start muting. And I think it's one more person actually. Buttercup, 1 second.
Yeah, this is me and Epstein, by the way. This is before I knew about his allegations.
I want to hear some other voices. Kalev, what do you think? Was it a
Yeah. This is. I just came here. I'm a new voice. Thank you.
Okay, horrible. Do you have any thoughts on whether or not Zionism was typically going to turn into genocide, or whether there was hope there was an idealistic version of it that could have been
That's not really
salvaged?
the question, though. It's a question.
Wait, hold on.
Whether we deserve the right to self-determination, like everybody else. That's
Whether it was a supremacist
Well,
system by
Israel-
design, was it supremacist
Yeah.
by design,
Yes.
or was it to
Yeah.
evolve into that?
Well, Israel's the only country that actually has this concept of religious supremacy. Name one other country where this is the case. So they obviously have. No,
Yes.
no, that's not the
They
case.
have
No.
and tribe in Saudi Arabia.
Iraq? Are you kidding me?
Non-Muslims are not allowed.
Iraq. No, that's not true, by the way.
100% true. Non-Muslims are
No,
not
sorry.
allowed in Mecca. 100% true. And then, in fact, there's a separate road for them. It's Muslims this way and non-Muslims the other way.
Okay, cool. So Israel and Saudi Arabia are both pretty bad, right? Wouldn't you agree, Normo? That's kind of bad.
Exactly the opposite. So Judaism, first of all, is not merely a religion. It's an identity and a family. So it is not religious supremacy. It is just nationalism. And every country is nationalistic and should be. French believe in France. British believe in Britain. Americans believe in America. We're cheering for America in the soccer game right now.
You can't become
Yes.
part of this. You can't become part of that.
Sure you
See
can.
what I mean? You just said it's not a religion, it's an ethnicity. You're the only ethnic.
I didn't say
Oh, wait,
identity.
what?
I said it's an identity.
It's an ethno-tribe,
What the-
to be honest.
What's that? What's that
It's
mean?
an ethno-tribe. Okay.
Explain
I'll tell you what it is.
identity. Can I become a fucking Yahudi?
I'm
Can
delighted
I
to
become?
tell you. No, I want to answer
Very
the question.
excited
You need to
right now.
learn.
Can we
I'll tell
bring
you
it down?
exactly what it means. We're a family and a nation and a tribe with a land and a language and a set of laws and a calendar. That's what an identity is. Do you understand now, Horrible?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, good.
No. Okay, that's cool. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not here to argue. I do think now that since it has happened,
Yeah.
you guys can for sure have self-defense. Okay?
Absolutely.
But hold on, I'm trying to say there's a lot of problems here. I'm not just an anti-Zionist like this. I say Zionism, the problem with Zion is I don't think a country has to fund you. So, for example, I think, even if it's, I don't care if it's a fraction of a percent, I don't give a fuck. Why do we fund Israel?
Exactly.
How about that? How about that? Like, why do we have to fund? Aren't you guys good enough? You're the only.
Not because we have to. Nobody has to.
Who's
fund us.
we? Who's we?
We America. We America. We America.
If you polled the average American, you actually think this would be the case?
I don't think we don't make
Really?
decisions.
Okay.
We make decisions
The
by
talking
democracy.
point, Israel's moving to a different model. It was
Or are you
declared almost 2 years ago.
From New York.
What are you?
I'm a Jew from New York.
Hold on.
Then what do you have
Israel
to
is
do?
starting about 2 years
Well,
ago.
because every Jew in the world has a place in the land of Israel. By man's law, that's Israeli law. Hang on, I'm answering your question. Hang on. Every Jew has a place in Israel by law.
Barking for a very long time.
No, I'm not barking. I'm answering your question.
I don't have a right of return for the Arabs. What?
Greece has a history of sabotaging.
Many countries have a right of return for their people.
Disgraceful.
Who's the people of Israel? You and
The people
have.
of Israel are the Jews, obviously.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Yes, it
No,
is.
not for a long time.
That's the definition.
To Mr.
That's
Norm.
the
And
definition.
by the way, somebody with a nose like yours does not get to condescend other people's accent.
Sure I do, but people love my nose.
You cannot
Listen,
condescend other
sweetie pie.
people's accent.
Women love my nose. You know what they say? Big nose, big heart. People love my nose, and of course I'm gonna
Yeah.
condescend.
I had a very tiny brain. I had a very tiny brain, apparently.
Of course I'm
Very
fair. Well, I
Alright, do we
have
want to
one
move this in a
bit
more
of
intelligent direction?
God gave me astronauts, big
Let's move this along.
big
Come on,
words.
come on.
I also have a big soul, by the way.
I'm not even listening to you as normal
Then
because
why
you
are you
have
asking me
literally talking
questions?
for the last half an
Don't
hour.
ask questions if you don't want to hear the
This should
answer.
be renamed as like as normal talking point.
That's correct. So what do you want
Why
to do
do I
now?
like
Let's
you?
get back on topic, guys.
I think
No,
he does
we
like me. I think he's flirting with me right now.
Okay, so we're in a different room. We're going to hear from Kalev now, okay?
Okay.
Kalev, was Zionism doomed to begin with to become a supremacist system, or was there something idealistic and salvageable about it?
No.
We already heard your opinion, Dorma. Thank you for sharing. We heard you.
The question is, do we deserve self-determination like everybody else? And the answer
We
is
heard
yes.
you also with normal. You've said that 4 times. Now it's Kalev's
Okay,
turn,
then
or
don't change
Eval,
the
or someone who
question.
has interesting thoughts about this.
I'll come to your question. I want to answer a different one first. I think Zionism is not just the right to defend, it's the right to not be genocided.
Why are you yelling at
But
me?
but the right to not be genocided doesn't mean you can't become your worst nightmare. I believe Zionism was not supremacist from the beginning. I still believe there is a version of Jewish self-determination in the land that is inclusive of everybody who lives there. We need prophets. We need new dreamers of this stuff. I think that's
Can
what
we
I
push
think
back
about
a little bit, Kalev? So, like, do you think that for early Zionists, like as idealistic and pure as their intentions may have been, maybe miscalculated? They believed no one was there, right? They miscalculated the
I don't
extent.
think they knew
They saw them as like
People were there. They didn't see the people.
not to the they thought that they would easily take over the land and these were barbarians and they would welcome their sort of more civilized.
I think that's a character rhetoric.
Well, they did do things to. There was an organized process, right?
Norm, with your forgiveness, could I just go back and forth for a couple minutes?
Absolutely.
Thanks a lot.
So if you read like Tom Sagan, right?
Yeah, I think it's a bit of a caricature, but I think, as you say to us often, right, there's nuance, it's complicated. I think the Zionist movement was pretty diverse from the get-go. And there were different people that knew different things, that were willing to admit different things, that were willing to say different things in public and in private. They knew there were people there. They were also trying to escape a terrible situation, right? So I think...
Isn't asking if by design it was supremacist?
Stop interrupting him, please.
No, it's okay. No, I don't think it's supremacist by design. When I read the Declaration of Independence, I don't see a supremacist document. I see a Jewish set of documents.
Do you think Herzl's Zionism was supremacist? I mean, it's a different time, right?
The Declaration of Independence.
I think there were some Zionisms that we would label that. That wouldn't be the kind of Zionism that were not democratic.
What about the revisionists? The supremacists?
No, I don't think so. I don't think they're good, but I don't think supremacist.
Zionism, in a word, is about Jewish survival. As Caleb.
Nor would you allow Christians to own Israel? Because apparently the Muzzies and the Jews can't get along.
The Jews are doing great.
But hasn't the revisionist Zionism led us to this point, where it ended, culminated in genocide, or what I consider to be genocide?
Well, it's not a personal definition.
Well, it seems like you're not capable of running. The Jews are not capable.
Considered to be
the Jews are not capable of running a country without destroying everything because their ideology seems to be to want to bring about the Messiah.
Not true. Not true.
No, I'm bringing the eschatology of why they do what they do. And once you understand why they do what they do, right, you'll see why they blow up everything. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
It is the last resort when people won't stop killing us. It was the last thing that we did. We didn't destroy Gaza for the entire time. Finally, after October 7th, it's okay. Give us back our hostage. We're going to take you apart.
You are holding the Muslims prisoners
Wait. Everybody's
in the
talking.
world's largest open
Everybody's
air
talking
prison.
at once.
You are pouring concrete into their drinking water that their kids
No, we're
drink.
not.
And then...
We provide drinking water. What are you talking about? How ignorant? How ignorant could one person be?
You have been doing this since day one.
Cora, you're completely wrong. We were supposed to share the land. They rejected the partition.
Goes way deeper.
Why did they reject the partition? Why do the Arabs think they should get all the land, Cora? Right. Why do the Arabs think they need all the land, Cora? Could you explain that, please?
Well, the Muslim Brotherhood's problematic.
Why do they deserve all the land?
I agree. I agree with you.
You got 22 countries, almost all the land, all the oil. How greedy can one people be?
Baseless and ridiculous argument.
They didn't get 22 countries? Can we count them together?
I'll tell you what. Just because I don't
Did they get 22 countries or not?
And start claiming land there.
Wait,
Wait a second. You have
Did they get 22 countries or
Your
not?
voice is much louder, so I want Corey to have the mic for a second.
Absolute ridiculous argument.
But it's true.
Oh my god, just shut
Okay.
up.
You shut up.
Mute up, Al, and Corey
No,
has the
you're
mic
right.
for 5 seconds.
Don't talk to the lady like that. Why not?
Okay, learn patience. Learn to listen.
No, you should learn patience.
Learn to listen.
Just shut up, Normal. Shut the fuck up.
You shut the fuck up.
Shut up.
Stop disrespectful to
Shut
women.
No.
Shut up and listen.
Wait. So you're gonna respond to what
no,
I said?
No. If you're gonna talk over me, I'm gonna keep talking over you. I'm sorry.
You can. I said to you, you got 20. That's fine. You got 22 countries and all the oil.
The actual reasonings
Right.
as to why your argument is absolute bullshit.
Okay,
Just
tell me
because
which
I'm
part is
Muslim,
false.
I cannot claim land in Saudi Arabia. So just because you're a Jew does not make you an automatic claimer of the land in Israel. Firstly, we
No, it's not automatic.
Examples. No, listen.
It's
Here's
historic.
some of the examples from the Torah, by the way.
We're already in the land.
Clear again and again.
Right.
The Torah refers to the Israelites as people.
Right,
And
that does.
Israel is the person, it's not the land. You don't have
No, it's the land of Israel. Everything is
what
Israel.
land belongs to you. Listen.
Okay,
you
you're
don't
just
have latitudes and
misinformed.
longitudes to what land belongs to you. God
again?
is not a realtor. He's not a real estate agent.
Never said he
So
was.
all of this argument is absolutely bullshit.
It's not the argument.
Why are you guys are you trying to tell me that you're so horrible that God wants you
No.
to restrict to one piece of land?
No.
Why do you think
No,
God
we're
would
telling
want
you
to
that
restrict
we
you in
deserve
one piece of land?
self-determination
Okay,
in our
it's a
homeland.
world that you can be anywhere in.
I'm
No,
not telling you
God
any of
wants
that.
you to be in Israel.
What I'm telling you is that we deserve self-determination in our homeland like everybody else.
Prospect,
Your
God
homeland
named
is
his land.
Israel.
Our homeland is Israel. You can disagree, but I'm sorry, you're just wrong.
I agree. It's in the Quran. It's in the Quran.
Because Muslims might have.
Guys, when you're speaking, wait for the other person to finish and then respond. I'm gonna mute you a few times and then I'm gonna move you down for a timeout.
Listen,
I am correcting the Muslim
El doesn't stop talking. I literally came in to show my point just.
Cora, you understand many
El has
people
been
are
talking
native
for
to
last
that
half an
land,
hour.
right?
So if he doesn't stop Buttercup, you need to move him down because we haven't done that
Now
one.
you're gonna say, now you're just
Go on,
gonna,
then.
you agree that there are
She
many
has a
people
good
who are
point,
native.
El Normal. You're gonna go in timeout if you keep interrupting. Let Cora speak
Okay,
for a
I'm not
few
in-
seconds.
Okay, how much longer, how long
Just
do you
mute
want
up
to
and
give
then
her?
you get to speak, okay?
How long do you want her to have?
She gets at least 30 seconds. You can set a
30
timer.
seconds is fine. Go.
Then mute up.
Great.
Good.
My time starts now. So just because Muslims, as you made a ridiculous argument, Muslims have more land, so they shouldn't need Israel. That's a bullshit argument. Just because I have two houses doesn't give anybody else the right to just kick me out of my house saying like, oh, you already have one house, give me another one. That is an absolute bullish argument, and it doesn't work anymore. It absolutely doesn't work anymore because these crocodile tears have been seen by the world, and that doesn't stand aground anymore. Not in international law, not in the eyes of any legitimate organization, not in the eyes of any United Nations, or you name it, you have it, International Court of Justice. It doesn't hold the argument, firstly. And secondly, this is ridiculous. You have the whole world. Just be a part of the whole world. Integrate with the whole world. Why do you need a small
Okay,
piece of
that's
land?
your 30 seconds.
Only by
That's the 30 seconds.
Thirdly,
Okay, that's 30 seconds, but we
with
timed it.
Palestine.
Hang on.
Palestinians didn't come
Hey,
to
listen, hang on, it's my turn now. Sorry.
You guys are the culprits.
Sorry.
All right,
Not
guys.
your
We're
30.
going to
So
Cora.
you
Now,
are
Normal gets
arguing.
30. You only get 30 seconds.
Quiet now, Cora. I gave you 30, I was quiet. You argued against something that I didn't say.
Oh my
There are
God,
many
it's
people.
Let him finish, Cora. We want
You
to time.
argued. Now I'm going to start over.
You're going to get another mic. Don't worry.
You argued against something that I didn't say. I didn't say that we're going to take somebody else's land. I said that there are many people who are indigenous to that land. There are Arabs, there are Yazidis, there are Druze, there are Samaritans, there are Jews. The Declaration of Independence of Israel is very clear. We have full intention and full action to live peacefully with our neighbors. The League of Nations in their wisdom, the United Nations in its wisdom, said that Israel would live on one part and the Arabs would live on another. That's already been established. That's international law.
30 seconds is up, and you just sound like you're spitting.
No, I started. We have to start over.
You sound like you're speaking
It's true.
very
30 seconds. Thank you for keeping time,
Yeah,
Chase.
30 seconds
Thank you.
are up.
It is now. We have to give me more time.
No, you
No,
just sound like
no, we
you're
don't. It was 30 seconds was the agreement. Now it's Cora's turn again.
You're slurring your speech. Get that checked.
Both the League of Nations and the United Nations decreed
10,
that we would share the land.
8, 7, 5.
Okay, Cora, go on.
Great, great stuff. So you talk about these amendments and these agreements. Who put these agreements there in the first place? If it was not for the Balfour Agreement, Israel, the current state of Israel, would not have been there in the first place, right? Read about the manifesto plan. Read about
the United Nations.
You get a new 30
Hey,
seconds.
we're doing a minute now. A minute. If you interrupt again, she gets a full minute, okay?
As well.
Elle, you have some issue. I
No
don't think
issue.
your wife listens to you.
If you interrupt again, it's going to be 2 minutes, okay?
Get it out on other people.
No, not true.
All right, Cora, go. If he interrupts you again, you get 2 minutes. Now it's 1 minute.
Right. So all of these agreements for you, like we have Abrahamic Accord, we have this and that. In the eyes of the nation, you don't know how the global East sees you, right? It is complete being because you have the power of America behind you. We are not even going to get into the rabbit hole of how you got this power of America to basically back you up in all the wrongs that you're doing towards so many countries, towards what you've done to Jordan, towards what you've done to Lebanon, towards what you've done to Palestine in the very first place. This all started with you. Palestine opened up their arms to you. And then you kicked them out of their own homes. The Nakba happened. So many atrocities over so many years. You're forcing their children to have waters that are contaminated. You're forcing them into an open-air prison. No food, no water, no right to exist as a first-class citizen, all second-class citizen rights, and even less. And then you question why they put up with the resistance. You have the right to, you have the audacity to question them. There are so many accounts openly where you have zip-tied babies. Zip-tied babies. Why do you need to do that if you're just trying to fight Hamas?
That's the minute. Okay, that's the minute. So again, you are arguing all sorts of anti-Semitic myths. We're not zip-tying babies. We're not poisoning anybody's water. We have peace with Lebanon.
Oh my
We have
God.
peace with Jordan. We have, these are written arrangements.
Yeah, peace of Lebanon, you want peace of Jordan, you want that peace.
No, we have P-E-A-C-E. This is the English language. We have peace. Why? Because our neighbors do not want the Muslim Brotherhood on their land. They do not want Hezbollah on their land. They do not want terrorists, and neither do we. The world hates terrorists. Hang on. Okay, I get another minute. Not being interrupted. Great. Thank you for the extra minute. So when you said the Palestinians did not welcome us with open arms. In fact, there was no such thing as Palestine then, and there's no such thing as Palestine now. I want to make this very clear to you. There never was a Palestine. There is no Palestine
30 seconds,
now.
Norma.
Thank you. Well, you gave me a minute because she interrupted. If you want to create a Palestine, Israel is open to it, but you will have to live peacefully with your neighbors. If you want to resist, we're going to resist right back. And we are bigger and stronger. If you threaten Jewish lives, we will eliminate you. We will come and take your guns away. Point your gun at us, and we're coming for you. Okay, go ahead, Cora.
Coming back, lovely. If America pulls their ass out of your system, you will be shivering like
Not at all.
rats.
Not at all.
That is
Quiet,
literally
Quiet for
you
you. We're
guys
gonna
are
take you
standing
down.
up. Listen, I gave you a minute to speak all the bullshit.
Quiet.
Now
What
let
do you
me-
disagree with that I said?
L,
What do you disagree with?
L, yeah, I gave you the minute to speak your bullshit. Now
What do you
listen,
disagree with
right?
your bullshit?
Number one.
Let her land her point. Let her land her point for
It's
him.
okay. Listen to it. Listen to it.
Now
Then
we have to
listen.
listen to your
Listen in
bullshit?
your own time. Now I need to restart my minute, right? My minute restart.
Wait, what do you disagree with that I said, if
If
anything?
America pulls out their resources, you guys are FUCKD. Number one.
How
Number
filthy
two,
your
and
mouth
the
is. What a
whole reason
vulgar,
you are
filthy
what
woman you are.
is because
You're like
of
a
America.
beast.
Number one.
Beast.
Number two. How you have bullied America to do your dirty acts, we're all seeing that. We've all seen Epstein files, we're all seeing that. Number three.
Wait, what does that have to
You
do
talk
with it?
about
Don't call him off the phone. Let her finish her thing.
Shut the fuck up.
Alright, you have a minute left, Cora, and Eleanor, don't interrupt again until she's done.
Well, no,
And
she's
then
got to be done for cursing. There's no cursing allowed.
Yeah,
Very
she
filthy
didn't curse,
mouth.
she spelled it out. She spelled
No,
it.
you don't. She said shut the fuck up.
Literally mocking
She said
people
shut
for
the
their
fuck up.
actions.
Okay,
That's
everyone,
correct.
We heard her,
try to be nice. The end.
Number three, right?
Wait, what was one and two? What was one and two?
Number one, you are nothing if you didn't have the King of America.
That's
Number
false.
two, we know how you got the
Okay, you
Bank
can
of
refute
America.
it later.
All
Yes, L. Epstein, just
Okay,
listen.
how long is the series, Cora? How many numbers? How many bullets are in there?
Let me finish. But
No, just like, give us an idea so he knows how to set up the
I don't know.
response.
I think we'll think about it once my minute finishes.
Like 5, 10.
Oh my God, you got honestly just.
I'm trying to organize the conversation so that we can.
Okay, let me get to number three before I actually forget about it.
Go.
Number three, you said there was no Palestine before whatever before Israel came into being.
Ever.
It never
No,
was
then
gonna
it's
happen.
not now.
This is absolute bullshit. I can send you information. I have a map of Palestine from 1526. 1526.
Who was the
But it's a
president?
Northern territory.
Who
I
was the
talked
king?
about it today.
Was it a state? What was it?
I will send you the whole detail in
So what
the
was
list.
it?
Exactly. What
was it?
It's a map of Palestine, and it says.
So was there a president or a state or what? Did it have a border? What is it?
It was the land.
Oh, it's a land,
other
like
lands.
Israel.
It's
Okay.
a piece of land. No, Israel
okay, it's a piece
Israel,
of land.
Oh my
So
God.
there's no
Israel
Palestinians.
didn't exist. Israel, there's
Well, no,
no
the
mention
Jews
of Israel.
existed.
Before
Israel is our
1947,
homeland.
there's no such thing as Israel apart
But
from
apparently it
Israel.
exists, right? Isn't that
Apart
what you're
from the
upset about?
Stop interrupting.
Are you gonna keep talking over?
Okay, I'm back.
Well,
Before 1947, there was no
I'm
mention
back
of Israel anywhere apart from the prophet.
Well, that's not
However,
true.
Palestine.
That's not true. It's in your
Othello.
Holy Quran.
Shakespeare in
You
Othello.
should read your book. It's in your book.
That is
It's in your Holy Quran. God gave them. No, it says God gave the law of Abraham. You haven't read.
Yeah. Stop. Whoever's muting.
He just proved my point. He's basically talking out of his ass.
But who was muting? It wasn't me. I didn't mute. Was it Glow?
What a
Did I
filthy
forget to unmute again?
Okay, hold on.
What a rat.
I'm muting everybody. You guys are behaving like children. I'm gonna treat you like fucking children. Again, we have a one fucking mic policy. Unless you are retarded and you're going off on your mic while somebody else is speaking. Okay? You know what a one mic policy is? I don't know if they never taught you where you guys come from, but it's a one mic policy in this fucking room. Buttercup, who was speaking? Who's next?
Cora was speaking and Norma was interrupting.
No interruptions, Cora. Land your plane, please. I've been listening because I've been here.
We did a new rule that worked really well, Rafi, which is she gets a minute, and if El Normal interrupts, then she gets 2 minutes, and if then he gets a minute, and then she interrupts, then she gets 2
we
minutes.
didn't agree to that. I didn't agree to that.
Well,
Rafi and I are the
Norm, I'm gonna give it to Buttercup because you used that for yourself. You added yourself an extra minute. I did hear it again. I had you in my ear.
It wasn't 2
And I
minutes.
heard
It was
you
1
say that.
minute.
I understand when Cora interrupted you, you added yourself an extra minute.
No, I just started over. I didn't
I
add a
understand you
minute.
said you gave
Come
me
on,
an extra minute.
No, I just started over.
Norm, don't bullshit a
I'm
bullshitter.
not bullshitting you. I'm telling you the truth.
I'm
I'm
saying,
timing.
don't bullshit a bullshitter.
I timed it.
Take over.
All right, Cora, you have a minute, and after a minute, El Normal has a minute. Okay. Go.
Yeah, this is my final stance. When El Normal says absolute ridiculous stuff like Palestine didn't exist, I have multiple proofs that Palestine existed, and he has just proven his limit of knowledge, right? He says the Quran talks about Israel. He talks about the Prophet Israel. Prophet Israel, it was a person. It was not your latitude, longitudinal land, governed by what's his name? Netanyahu. It was not that. Like, if you believe that, there's nobody as ridiculous to talk to as you are, firstly. And then lastly, Palestine. Othello, Shakespeare, talks about the land of Palestine. What's his face? The famous child author, his name will come to me, talks about Palestine way before Israel's even absolute mention came into being, right? And then I have physical maps, and I will send you all the details of that maps from 1526, with the whole map from the river, you guessed it, to the sea, a land of Palestine. And inshallah, one day we'll be free. You can say whatever you want. My literal argument is...
Okay, Norma, do you want to respond to that?
Of course. So...
You have 1 minute.
Yeah. So, there is no such thing as Palestine. There was a land. There was never a state. Before it was the land of Israel, it was owned by the Ottoman Turks for 600 years. There was no Palestine. There was no Palestinian. There was no king. There was no president. There was no ruler. There was no state. There was no current. There was no economy. There was no Palestine. The Ottoman Turks were defeated in World War I. The League of Nations said to the Brits, please administer this. That was the mandate of Palestine. The explicit role of the mandate was to return the land to its indigenous people. Those indigenous people were, by the ruling of the League of Nations and later by the United Nations, the Jews and the Arabs of the land. They partitioned the land under international law. The Jews got a tiny little bit. The Arabs got a big amount, including Jordan, which had never existed before. The Jews said, thank you, we'll take it. And the Arabs said, no way, we are going to get rid of the Jews. We're going to commit genocide. They tried, they failed, they lost. The Arabs attacked repeatedly, they were defeated every time, and every time they attacked, Israel grew a little bit defensively because we saw that we could not trust our neighbors. While we are resolved to live peacefully with our neighbors, and we now have peace deals with most of our Arab neighbors, Lebanon, as recently as 2 days ago, the Palestinians have peace deals with precisely nobody. They are violent terrorists that have been expelled from Jordan, expelled from Lebanon, expelled from Kuwait. Nobody wants them. These people calling themselves Palestinians are professional terrorists. And if they keep threatening Jews, that will be the end of them. Thank you.
Anyway, let's get some new voices in here.
It's
Soren.
an open thread, by the way. Was that an open thread?
Well, look, obviously.
He's like 1,000,000 years old. He can't threaten
No, I'm
anybody.
not 1,000,000 years
Well,
old.
no. Honestly, was
But
that an open thread? Because that sounded like...
He's not capable of threatening anyone. He's barely a lot.
You are very old.
Quite violent.
If you were
I'm quite
You look
violent.
like you're in a museum, bro.
So, well,
You look like you're in a museum, bro.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, it means...
Stop the personal attacks right now. We're not gonna do it. I'm gonna push you down if you start personally attacking anyone.
He's just a little old.
Thank you. No, I'm not old. I'm in better shape than you, and I could easily kick your ass if I chose.
That was a violent
Don't
threat.
bother.
That was a
Don't
violent
bother a Jew because there's going to be bad
That was
consequences.
a violent
So what I
threat.
said, Cora,
That was a violent threat.
My point is he's harmless. Don't worry about
I
it.
want you to be very clear. If you point a gun at a Jew, we will come.
Point a
We will
gun.
take that gun from your hand. We will not do it gently.
And what if
Any
you guys are the
questions?
ones...
What is he talking
Are there any questions?
What if
What's this guy
you
talking
guys are the ones
Point
pointing the
a
guns
gun
at
at a Jew. We will take that
Where's
gun
the-
from your
who's
hand.
talking about
And
God?
what
We
if you
will
guys are the
not
ones...
do it gently.
I just said you look old.
Okay, you self-proclaimed
Any
victim.
questions?
What if you guys
You
are the
said you
ones
look old.
actually pointing the Jews and
He's
putting...
like the octogenarian with big gun going, get off my lawn.
If there,
If you're the ones pointing the guns and bullying the world...
Yeah.
well, we're not bullying the world. We're a tiny
But
little
you are.
country.
But you are.
No, we're not.
But you are.
How are we bullying the world? Explain to me.
You have bullied your neighbors.
We're any small country that we were in the beginning.
Weird control with
We're one of the smallest countries in the world. How are we threatening the world?
Nothing, but we
I think Soren wants to pipe up. Guys, let's
We're
hear
the
some
same
other
small
voices.
country that we were when we...
Guys,
Yeah, let's hear Soren.
I want to hear from Soren. Soren, go.
Look, obviously the
previous speaker the mouthpiece of Hezbollah agent Lomo. He didn't cover Balfour Declaration. He didn't talk about the fact that this.
How is that relevant to anything?
Well, it was very relevant because the Rothschild letter.
El Oldo, stop talking.
I mean, the Rothschild letter is very clear. I mean, the Balfour Declaration is pretty much clear. It says this land should be shared among the.
Yes, and that's what we're doing.
Yeah,
That's what we're doing.
Yeah, I mean, the matter of
It's
fact,
the League of Nations that matters in the United Nations.
The reality is that when you look at the populations of indigenous people of Palestine,
like the Jews.
yeah,
Like the Jews.
Palestinians, Muslim, we have
Alright,
Palestinians.
don't interrupt El Norma or I'm gonna give him more time. Soren, you have 1 minute starting from now.
Thank you.
I mean, I've heard this guy 1,000 times. There's no.
Alright, you have 2 minutes starting from now. Stop talking, El Norma.
I'm gonna watch the game.
You have 3 minutes starting from now, Soren.
Thank you. So Balfour Declaration, when you look into it, it was actually signed in the 2nd of November.
Watermelon
You can say,
rainbow.
okay, let's see the populations of the area which was known as the territory of Palestine at that time. It is very clear. The population is very clear when it came to
The $90 billion development round.
minorities, which at that time were Jews. In 1917, ladies and gentlemen, we had 56,000 Jews living in Palestine. Only 56,000. And then if we move forward to the 1947, 1948, when these settlement colonial projects happened, 660,000 Jews. The question you might ask is this: how did the population grow from 56,000 from 1917 all the way to 1947, 1948? I mean, we're talking about something like 30 years. This massive population growth did not happen organically. It did not happen because they started having 7, 8 babies. It happened through the massive immigrations, mainly because of what happened in the Second World War, the Nazi Holocaust. A lot of Ashkenazi Jews decided to leave
They're right.
Russia, and they
That's
came.
their right.
So this did not happen organically. So we're talking about an area which for years and years and years, the Mizrahi Jew, what is known as Mizrahi Jew today, along with their cousins, the Arabs, the Muslims, they were living together. They had pretty much the same culture, same rituals, same lifestyle, but he believes in Hashem, they believe in Allah, the other one believes in Jesus. But they know the area, they know the neighborhood. And all of a sudden, they opened the door, they realized that some people coming, to them, they were Europeans. To them, there are some people coming from Poland, from Russia, from Germany. And they had to come, and they came through what is known as Nakba. They displaced hundreds of thousands of Palestinians to other lands. This is the Palestinian perspective. This is the fact that the reason they didn't accept that very first declaration in 1948 is because they knew that these people, that 52,000, yes, they were authentic, they were indigenous people of the land. But the massive immigration happened afterwards, mainly as a result of the Second World War. They didn't see that as organic immigration. They see them as invaders. So you might make this argument that 3,000 years ago, their grandfather passed by Jerusalem. You can make that argument. But the matter of fact, people at that time, they knew that these people are not from there. They knew the Yaakov from Jerusalem, one of those 50,000, but they didn't know the other one from Poland. They said these people, they didn't even speak the language. They didn't speak the language that the Israeli Jews at that time. They saw them with a different culture, with some food, and that's why they didn't accept. They said, okay, you are 10% of the population, you can have 10% of the land, but not 50%. That's the way that I think the way to look at it. But again, you can make this argument that the Jews passed by there 3,000 years ago. Self-determination means that even self-determination of Jews living in Poland, you can make this argument, but people are going to laugh at it.
Okay, thanks for explaining, Soren. That's very good information. I would like to add that if it were me, I mean, if I would look at myself, and I would be 3-4 generations into living in another country, but my people are still living there in Iran, I would make the case that I have every single right to move there back again, especially after the Second World War. So if that makes me an Iranian Zionist, then I am an Iranian Zionist.
Can I ask a question to Soren? Go for it.
So I understood that you just explained the Palestinian perspective and also just like kind of glossed over the Jewish perspective. But why is the Palestinians' history more relevant than our history?
Can I answer that, Soren?
Go for it.
Thank you. That's a very good question, right? And the answer is very simple. The relevance depends on what are the actual turn of events. When people say like Palestinians didn't make a deal because they didn't want peace, that's absolutely ridiculous. I'll tell you why. If this is my house and somebody from the outside comes and says like, oh, this land belonged to someone else like thousands of years ago, so please give me 10% of your land. For them it might be a good deal, but for me it's still a bad deal because I'm losing my house on the pretext of what? Nothing.
Well,
So that's why when I say like this is my house, I need to protect it, that right now in this narrative is relevant. But if somebody else is coming in saying like, but I only asked for 10%, just give me the 10%, that does not stand any relevance. As I said, like I am a Kashmiri, right? And my ancestry is from Iran. But under no circumstance can I go back to Iran right now and say like, oh, excuse me, my great grandfather was from here, like probably 150, 200 years ago. So give me your piece of land and kick somebody who's already living him out because apparently I am the real, I'm the real person from that place. It does not stand the relevance in the eyes of International Court of Justice.
Yeah, Cora, but you're not acknowledging the fact that Palestinians willingly left. And then
Some of them, and some of them were expelled, right, Em?
oh, okay.
Left where?
Okay.
No, so in 48, some of them left because of fear, right, of the war.
No, because they were told
There's actually no evidence of that. They did research.
True.
That is a myth. That is one of the myths that they teach kids in school.
It's not true. They willingly left to neighboring countries.
Okay, can you give me one?
So many of them tried to come back, and the Israelis prevented them.
Did Palestinians not go to Lebanon? Did they not go to Egypt?
Yeah, and they were told to be temporary, and when they tried to come back, they were killed.
But Buttercup, but the problem is that, can I just,
not all of them.
Actually,
but I'm trying
one authentic.
Cora, let's actually settle this because this is important.
I'm trying to
Cora, this is a myth about the expulsion in 1948 that we need to settle.
Buttercup, can you let me finish my sentence? I was responding to her and everybody is interrupting.
Yeah, the mic is yours, girl.
Okay. You agree that there were Palestinians that willingly left, okay?
Yes, and do you agree that
Hold on. Genuinely.
Hey, Cora, stop interrupting, please. We're having a conversation, okay?
No, you're interrupting, Buttercup.
I know, but this is something, listen, Em and I have the same Zionist indoctrination, so I need to settle this with her. It's very important.
Indoctrination? You're literally
because I was told the same stories as you, and this is why we need to settle it.
Because you're cosplaying as a Zionist. Don't call yourself a Zionist. I'm
a post-Zionist, not a Zionist.
You're disgusting is what you are. But anyways.
I'm being kind to you. I've never said anything to you.
Just because she doesn't fall into your myths that you created, like self-proclaimed witches.
So Cora, let us have it back and forth, okay? Just give us the mic for 2 seconds, because I think this is something we both heard we were raised with the same information, and then there was a point when I picked up a history book and I read the other side of the story, and I'm not saying you're wrong, Em, I'm saying you only have half the story, I suspect.
I just want Em to
Can I just please finish my train of thought? Buttercup, you agreed that there were Palestinians that willingly left. Whether we agree, hold on. Okay, thank you. Whether
they're out of fear, though, and they tried to come back.
But I'm not telling you. Jesus Christ! You hold people to like a standard, but then you're like, you contradict yourself.
Yours. Keep going.
Okay, we don't agree on why they left, but let's move on from there. Okay?
But wait, can we just settle that you agree that 30?
I said
you agree 30,000 were expelled from Lebanon.
I give up. Buttercup, you're right. No worry.
Okay, well, we need to acknowledge the multiple truths, Em.
This is what you want, Em.
We need to establish the facts. Some left, some are expelled, right?
Fucking let her finish speaking. You hear me?
No, this is the stupidity that Raphael allows in his room. It's fucked up.
No, Chloe, we need to establish some facts. That's what we're doing here.
I'm trying to finish a train of thought, and then you can debate me. Like, what is
You asked me to confirm a question. I'm saying let's establish the facts together.
Stop interrupting.
Chloe, stop. We're trying to establish a fact.
Go on, please.
No,
We're trying to establish whether the elector were expelled. Let's establish that.
Finish your...
No, it's okay, girl. It's okay. Honestly, I just...
Well, we're trying to establish a basic fact before we move on.
One at a time.
No, Rafi, honestly, shame on...
Why shame on me?
Shame on you for letting somebody like this mod your fucking room.
What do you mean shame on me for letting somebody mod this room? Guys, you're getting on stage to debate them. I
Yes,
give
but
it 30 minutes.
Buttercup keeps interrupting Em and doesn't let us speak.
Hold on.
We're trying to establish a fact, Chloe.
But I understand, but no interrupting. Everybody gets 1 minute to speak, 1 to 2 minutes. Land your plane, and nobody interrupts. Somebody interrupts, you give them an extra minute.
Okay, but if you ask me a direct question, like, did they all leave?
I think I'm allowed like 15 minutes at this point.
Okay, well then don't ask me rhetorical questions on the way.
Again, guys, just land your planes, make your peace, say your comment.
You have a minute, go.
If anybody wants to rebuttal it. Go, guys, seriously. It's not like children. I'll do the same.
Em, the mic's on you, go.
No, I'm good. I have nothing to say to you.
Alright, so I'll go first. So, like Em points out, there is a narrative that most of the Palestinians in 1948 left of their own volition, right? Some people say there was a radio warning from the Arab armies that were coming in, warning them that they were about to come in, and then the Arabs fled, and that's why the Nakba happened, right? That is a narrative that I was raised with, it's a narrative that Em was raised with, it's a narrative that probably Rafi was raised with, right? However, the new historians in Israel, looked through the archives. In the 80s and 90s, the IDF declassified their archives about what happened in 1948 during the war, and they revealed some explicit orders, particularly in Lud and Ramla, to evict tens of thousands of Palestinians at gunpoint. And initially the plan was only to come in to towns and villages that were hostile to the Israelis, because there were some towns and villages in 1948 that were not hostile to the Israelis, and they were supposed to spare them, but that's not what happened. They ended up being indiscriminate and running through many villages and expelling the citizens of many villages that in fact were friendly or sympathetic to the Israelis. And so in the 1990s and 80s, when they declassified this information, Benny Morris and Avi Schlein and all these new historians in Israel kind of reset the record. It's not that you and I were lied to, it's that they only told us half the story. They only told us about the people that fled, and they didn't tell us about the people that were expelled. I need you to tell me that I was lied to. You were not lied to. You were told half the story. No, I wasn't. Right now you can have the mic. No. Okay, so as I was saying, the other half of the story is that tens of thousands of people were expelled from Lud and Ramla, and that is in the IDF records that became declassified in the 90s that kind of reset the narrative, right? But, you know, I don't know how old you are, Ab, but I was born a little bit before those things became part of the narrative, so I was told, like you, kind of a sugar-coated version of what happened in 1948. I would love to hear what you think about 1948 and how it unfolded. But I think the consensus today is that many of them left were forced out at gunpoint. Some of them fled in fear because there were massacres. The IDF soldiers came in and massacred people in very brutal ways, and there are many, many IDF records and accounts that document that. And some of them did in fact leave of their own volition. So yes, it was a combination of the three.
The fact is, Buttercup, that X means somebody's truly means not ours. So when you ask her to present something, she is absolutely good. That's because she doesn't have anything.
That's not true, because you spoke over me. You spoke over me, and I would have finished my point, and you could have said, can you provide sources? I would have provided the sources for you. But I'm not going to fight. I'm not going to fight two people and talking over me and not even letting me finish the sentence.
So we're going to give you the mic for a minute.
I'm not talking to you because you guys don't.
I want to hear your opinion. I want to hear what you have to say, Em. I'm actually curious.
Listen, how do you guys expect her to even say anything when every time she wants to talk, you talk over her and she loses her train civil conversation and you want to be a dictator all the time. Stop interrupting her.
It's because she doesn't want to speak, Lo. She literally said that. She doesn't want to.
We're begging her to speak loud. She won't speak.
She's not
This
going
is a
to
discussion.
speak to you.
You have to.
Alright, Cora, you and I are gonna shut up and we're gonna give her a minute to speak on her own. We're not gonna
How
talk,
hard
okay?
can it be? Are you civilized?
Yes, Glo, stop calling us names. Okay, Cora, we're gonna be quiet and we're gonna just leave silence in the room until M's ready to talk.
I don't even think she wants to talk to you guys anymore.
Yeah, fucking shit, Glo.
I can talk.
You can literally just chat GPT why Palestinians left willingly.
Well, I can
In 1948.
This is something that.
No, I'm just saying, you know what, it's not even worth my research to talk to you guys.
Why is that? Why
Don't
that's such a
downplay
cop out?
Palestine. No, don't downplay Palestinian pains. Don't say it's not worth my time.
It's not worth my time because talking to you is not worth my time.
Downplaying people.
Talking to you is not worth my time.
Unlike you, we have suffered. Unlike you, we have suffered.
Who's we? Are you Palestinian? No, you're not. Okay.
Kapora, I'm just curious. Like you can ask, or not Kapora, excuse me. If you look at, you can just do Chat GPT, whatever you want. Just ask it why did the majority of Christians leave Palestine? These aren't the rabid Muslims. These aren't the terrorists, the jihadists. Ask why did they leave? What were the conditions that made them leave?
Pepe, I'm not talking about Christians, and I don't care. I really don't.
But the Christian Palestinians, they are Palestinian.
But they were mostly a minority, and that's a separate conversation than what I think I jumped in on. The whole 1948 conversation and how like the whole Zionist narrative, like we were only told half the truth. Okay, fine, whatever. But if you want to say that all of our history is BS, or that we only got half the truth, is there really nothing of the Palestinian narrative that's maybe they got half the truth? Maybe not everything that they were told growing up, or that they were told from their family members is also true? Do you think that's also a possibility? Or
Who are you asking? Who are you talking
I'm asking
to?
generally, but I mean, I came in here when Buttercup was talking about 1948, Benny Morris, new historians, and Cora, I think you're Palestinian, right? Is there a possibility, maybe?
She's not Palestinian.
I'm not Palestinian.
Okay, whatever. Well, okay, but you seem to be catering to their side for whatever.
It's because we have a very similar story from where I come.
Right.
We are under oppression as well. Yeah.
What's your background? Sorry.
I'm sorry, I'm not comfortable disclosing that here.
Okay, so the general story is that you could whatever happened with what happened to the Palestinians in the general narrative and scope of the world, history of the world, isn't so different than what happened to many peoples across the world. So to take the Palestinian narrative and highlight it that it's so unique across history is really a disservice generally to history. First of all, yes, I'm not done. Hold on. Secondly, this whole Benny Morris, 1948, new historians, taking a mirror to Israeli Jewish society, like, look what you've done. Even that book, and even Benny Morris would say himself, right, that it's not fully, it was researched, but it's not 100% complete. That's not the best word I'm using. But even he would say that there was no, you could say displacement until maybe 47, 48, first of all. Second of all, it wasn't an Israeli army policy, an official policy of the government of the Knesset to kick out any Palestinians because if you look at Israel today, you see most of the Israeli Arabs live in the north, and most of the south does not have any Israeli Arabs. That's because there were one of the two main generals, one of them decided it was best to kick out, remove, or deal with most of the Israeli Arabs in the south for whatever reason. There was a war. This happens during a war. And in the north, that wasn't necessary. And also, even after the war...
It's true. He does say it was because of war, not by design. But he does say that their expulsions happened, right?
It wasn't a policy, though. It was.
But there were orders. There were direct orders that are documented.
Orders, but it wasn't a
including one that came from Ben Gurion, kind of implied wink, wink.
It was not. No. It was not a policy, because if it was a policy, you would have no Israeli Arabs in the north today. Which is why
it was not a widespread policy. You're right.
You're right. It was not a widespread policy, but some generals saw that it needed to happen, and some didn't. Even after the war ended, they allowed some Palestinian Arabs back into the land to be together with their families. So there is a you could say our version of history is bullshit. Fine, where we were lied to, we were actually savages. Okay, whatever. It's a war.
I'm not saying we're savages, John. I'm trying to make it more nuanced.
Right. But I think that even with that history, I think when I came in here and I heard you with the various like 1948 new story narrative, I think there is I happen to know more, and there's a lot more nuances within the Palestinian story that I don't think they even want to talk about, especially around what was the major quote unquote massacre that happened that they always highlight. Deir Yassin, even that.
Keturah?
There's a lot.
Blood, there were many.
No. Deir Yassin's the main one. Deir Yassin was the one that kicked all of this off. Lots of Palestinians, because of the propaganda that was spread by both Israelis and Palestinian Arabs after, a lot of them got scared and they left on their own volition.
Yeah, and I mentioned that. Some of them, their atrocities were committed and it scared them off, right?
Right, that's how the majority of them actually left, because they were scared off. But
So those numbers are debated, John. Would you agree that it's every story is a slightly different figure?
The battle at Deir Yassin,
No, John, there is some of these figures are debated. How many were expelled? How many fled? How many were
But what's not debated, what's actually written in a book by an Israeli Jewish historian that actually took most of his sources from Palestinian Arabs themselves, was a book written about Deir Yassin and what actually happened there. And mind you, I'm going to pinpoint this because a lot of people will say, well, he was just a really Jewish guy, whatever, he's religious. Most of his sources were Palestinian Arabs themselves. They were either there or there right after. And they're saying how it was not really a massacre, it was way more of a battle than was previously thought. The specifics around what happened there is not what the main Arab propagandists at the time said that happened. There were no rapes. There was no mass killing of people being lined up and hacksawed to death and all of that. But that propaganda spread, and a lot of Palestinian Arabs were scared of that, and then they left. And then there was no other surrounding Arab villages that came in and helped out. So I'm just saying, and I'm going to put a bow on this right now, and then you guys can have a conversation about this. There was a lot more issues within Palestinian Arab society around being together, around nationalism, around staying in the land. They were selling land constantly up until 47, 48. Even after 48, they were selling. So this whole history of this place is a lot more nuanced, a lot more distinct than the larger Palestinian narrative like to say today. And then
Okay. Firstly, oh my God, I don't know where to even begin. Because when you started this conversation, you said in many areas, okay, fine, Palestinians left, whatever. That's the problem. The narrative has always been okay, yeah, so what, Palestinians suffered, but this is what happened with the Zionists. And by the way, I never use the word Jews because I don't think Judaism is, a synonym for Zionism. I think they're two very far off ideologies. I think the actual people who have even read the Torah know that they have to have, by the word of God, they have to be in exile until the return of the Messiah, but I'm not going to go into that debate at the moment. Right. So, number one, the downplaying of the pain of Palestinians is what bothers me the most. You said what if they must have also been told of the truth. The problem is, that is what the world has seen all this time, till we have just had the new exposure of social media. All they have seen is one side of the coin. It's one side of the narrative. All they have seen is we need Zionism because, people are suffering, but completely disregarding the fact that, okay, no doubt people, especially Jews in the Europe, have suffered a lot at the hands of atheists and white Christian nationalists, right? Not at the hands of Muslims. But somehow it all became the problem of Muslims after 1947. It all became the problem of Palestinians, who were the only ones, by the way, with welcoming people with open arms, right?
And now, okay, they were selling their land because they were being forced to sell their land. In many cases, they had to sell their land because it was like, okay, either get a little bit of money or get nothing at all, in which case it was better to get a little bit of money than to get nothing at all. All of this has been going on for a very long time. By the way, and this is, again, I'm talking about Zionism, I'm not talking about Jews. Because Jews have been residing in Palestine for over eons. Nothing had been destroyed, nothing had been touched. In fact, all the churches, all the mosques, everything was safe. Even under the Ottoman Empire, for 800 years, the keys stayed safeguarded, and that area has been destroyed under the regime of Israel, right? So whenever, and just shut up. Anyway, just
Because you're lying. That's a lie.
I got this.
Okay, yeah, I'm lying, and you're the self-proclaimed, Messiah. Anyway, like this narrative, the world has always seen this narrative. So when finally Palestinian stories are finding light, and we have not only seen it, you mentioned a few books, but I can also mention a few books, in fact, a few names as well. We have people like, I know you guys love calling them self-hating Jews or whatever the name is. Like, we have people like, Noam Chomsky, Norman Finkelstein, we have Gabriel Matter, we have Ilan Pape, we have so many people who have done so much research.
Buttercup.
Cora, you have four. You have the four that you named, and maybe five. That's it. That's the one.
40% of American Jews think it's a genocide. Does the 1 minute might apply to Cora as well, or no?
1 minute? Sorry, John, I don't think you talked only for 1 minute. Sorry, Em.
I got this. You can go on and on and on.
Sorry. This is what I mean. This is what I mean. The narrative there's a very famous saying in Urdu, right? It says, "Lashkar bhi tumhara, akhbar bhi tumhara. Tum jhoot ko sach likhte ho, sardar bhi tumhara." Which means like the mob is yours, the leader is yours. Even if you want to portray false as right, the leader is yours, the newspaper is yours. This has been happening since forever, right? The narratives are finally coming out, and that's why it's so important to tell the Palestinian stories now more than ever. And we're seeing it in real time. There's a genocide unfolding, and all I can hear in this group is like, yeah, it is, but whatever. What if you guys would like to?
It's not a genocide.
Okay, let's not even start. Okay,
I just want to play back because
no, John,
that rhetoric gets people here hurt.
John, you've had your time. It's my time to speak, right?
The sarcastic terrorism argument where you can't be critical of Israel or Jews is just because people do bad things. You can say that about any group, and it's not.
Okay, you play both sides of the fence. Shut up.
I feel like that non-normal guy did the same thing. He was like very clear words from his mouth. Palestine, bad, me, good. That's not how the world works, and that's not an actual argument, right? In order to actually say that, okay, this is what happened, you need to give some weighing evidence. You need to support it with weighing evidence. Palestinians were in that land. Palestine has always existed. Israel, on the other hand, has never existed. And when we named the word Israeli, then that was a prophet, that was on the piece of land. Now Israel came to existence after the Balfour Declaration, right? And who was it signed by? Rothschild. Let's not even go into that rabbit hole. Let's not even begin to. But before that, there was another piece of land that was kind of like a British mandate, British plan to unfold, which was the Madagascar plan. But okay, finally, because it was a good area strategically to place your allies in, to place the army in, very conveniently they were like, you know what do you think?
This is all bullshit. Palestine didn't exist any more than Israel did. Like, this is so fucking retarded.
Hold on, Cora. What's the main gist of it? You're going all over the place.
I will give you so many proofs that Palestine has always existed.
I don't care. That's fine.
If I told you the country of Palestine, because
Cora, are you have a monologue going or what?
Cora,
you have a monologue going. It's been 15 minutes. It's been 15 minutes. It's not even comparable.
No, it hasn't been 15 minutes.
Cora, I never said.
I'm not on your side. I'm not speaking on your side.
I never said.
The world doesn't revolve around you. It's not your narrative or nobody's narrative.
Way too long monologues, because when you bring up a bunch of different points, you don't allow people to respond to your point. Okay, try to keep it at one point so they can respond to your point and then move on. If you just go and this and that and this and that, how are they gonna respond to it?
I love how close, this moderation only comes out when I'm speaking. Anyway,
You were speaking for a very long time.
No, John had been speaking for a long time.
You are just galloping, which is where you just keep on going point after point after point, and then nobody can address any single point, and then it becomes
Exactly.
a wordless conversation.
Pepe, that was my conversation to John as well. He mentioned a lot of points, and I said the same thing. I was like, he mentioned point after point after point. I don't know which one to answer first. I know what order. So this does happen when people are going on a tangent. Deal with it. You didn't say anything when he was talking, and that's because I can tell that why that is in the very first place. I know why that is.
I did. I just caught David. There's Zionists on here that have a problem with what I'm saying too. So with all due respect.
Let me wrap this up with a bow after you're done, Cora. I'll let you finish on this. Are you done?
Well, honestly, I've been interrupted so many times. I gave you the respect to talk uninterruptedly, but I've not been met with the same, respect. So yeah, you go on. You finish up.
I'm sorry that it happened. It was, to be honest with you, it was a little hard to, you were, and I get it, tensions are high, blood pressure's high, whatever, but you were kind of going in and out, but I will try and wrap up the sort of debate here. And if we want to, I don't care what existed before, existed after, and so on and so forth. The way that the world was going back then, and that the way that things happen, bad things happen to good people. Good things happen to bad people, and you get over it. Hold on.
No. Don't do that.
Don't do what?
Don't patronize the pain of Palestinians.
I'm not patronizing. I'm being. Excuse me, Cora. I'm not patronizing the pain of Palestinians. I know you don't know me. You don't know where I've been. You don't know where I'm from. Just let me finish what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say that when something bad happens to you, you move the fuck on with your life. Everybody on this stage, there's
the oldest argument that anybody from the Zionist end can produce is like, this was probably just 3,000 years ago.
We don't, hold on, that's a TikTok bullshit thing.
Exactly 3,000 years ago are gone.
Listen to me, that is a TikTok. Everyone that's on this stage that grew up in a Jewish household, you could say a Jewish Zionist household, whatever, that went to your standard Western American Jewish institutions, we're not walking around saying this was promised to us 3,000 years ago, blah, blah, blah. That's some Arab anti-Zionist TikTok bullshit. We don't go around. Hold on. We don't go around. Listen to me. We don't go around saying. We don't go around saying that. I am really Jewish. Everyone here that knows me in this room on the stage has heard me speak for years about this stuff. Like, I know my shit. Okay. And we Jews in America that come from Russian backgrounds, fucking South African backgrounds, Eastern European backgrounds. We've all had very bad shit done to us in our families, but you know what? We move on. We've all lost houses. Hold on. No.
Everybody does, John.
I will tell you why the Palestinians have not moved on. And I will tell you that right now.
John, Cora, stop interrupting John. He has land to explain. You'll land explain, you'll speak.
I'll let my plan in 1 minute. They have not moved on.
Speak longer. So, okay? So don't stay muted, please.
They have not moved on. No one up here remembers any of the color of their napkins, or the way that their dining room is set up back in Moldova, or back in Russia, or back in Poland. No, it's over. That time has passed. We've moved on. Okay? And you want to talk about the Palestinian narrative always being lower and always being buried? That's definitely not the case. The UN was basically set up after that to highlight the Palestinian narrative. There's been decades and decades and decades of terrorism, of intifadas, keeping up the Palestinian narrative as much as possible, all to October 7th, when the best way to make sure the Palestinian narrative is now highlighted amongst the world is to do a massive rape, torture, kidnapping fest, and now great, and now the Palestinian narrative is highlighted, everyone knows it, and you expect us not to do anything about that? Okay? So if you want to talk about all of this, that they've been oppressed. Hold on, that they've been oppressed. In the end, we get ping pong back and forth about the country was this, is Israel. Exactly. Hold on. We could do that. We could go back. All right, the country was Israel first, then Palestine, the Arabs and the Jews came, and blah, blah, blah. What it comes down to is that a bunch of 19, 20, and 21-year-olds, right, and 30-year-olds on drugs in Gaza decided to rape, torture, kidnap, and kill us, right, and hold us hostage and kidnap us under tunnels and starve us for over a year. Because their great-grandfather lost a house during a war that they started, and now they're upset today. How about you get the fuck over it, and we move on, and we make peace, so we can actually make some money, fall in love with each other, and have a real fucking society. How about that?
It's very easy to say that when you come to a place where you have actually looted, taken all the resources, and just basically planted your flag illegally, just because the people who were receiving you were nice to you. Just because of that.
We did not plant our flag illegally. It was lawyers that created the country legally.
I did pay you the respect.
Well, you said we were created illegally. I was born there. I wasn't born there illegally, Cora. No, fuck you. I wasn't born there illegally. My parents went there legally, and they had me legally, and I'm an Israeli citizen legally to a real country that exists.
And then you have the right to kick out the people who have been
No, I do not.
before you.
That's not how it works over there at all.
Exactly, that's how it exactly works.
No, it doesn't.
The pain of yes,
and I have propaganda. You have Arab propaganda.
Okay, Glo, where's your mediation now?
Go.
Where's your mediation now, Glo?
To be honest, you just literally denied his existence. He has every right to defend himself.
Okay.
You just said that he does not belong. He is not legal in his own country. Who are you? Who the fuck are you?
Who the fuck are you, Glo?
Who the fuck are you to say that? You're an Indian. Where are you? You're not even from the Middle East.
The world's biggest.
You're not even from the Middle East.
You are not even from the Middle East.
You're not even invited to the fucking party.
Who are you?
Get the fuck off the property.
Oh, you shut the
This is a gated community.
It's a gated community. Your gated community that you created on the basis of the blood of Palestinians, innocent Palestinians, Palestinian kids. You guys love to beat this drum about October 7th. You guys have been doing that.
Who's you guys? I'm Iranian. I'm Iranian. Fuck you. Fuck you. You are an Iranian in diaspora who has this Western pick-me energy. All these.
So Cora, I'm just curious though.
I don't even know.
Okay, but Cora, let me ask you a question. Cora,
listen to me.
Cora, no, shut the fuck up, bitch. Like seriously, you're being obnoxious.
You shut the fuck up, okay? And before you disrespect me, which by the way, I do absolutely respect from you. Oh, shut the fuck up, you asshole. Right?
Wait, Cora, you're Pakistani, you're Indian? How was your country created? Curious.
Oh,
when was it created?
I'm not Pakistani, I'm not Indian, I'm not either. So, there you go.
She just conveniently won't tell people where she's from. Somehow, people are going to look for her.
Of course I won't, Pepe, because I absolutely do not want to give up my information for the likes of you people.
I'm not.
I'm
just saying.
Okay, if you say that you're Syrian or Pakistani, nobody's gonna fucking be able to figure out who you are. It's so retarded.
Every single day it has happened. Every single day it has happened in Palestine. Every single day on October 7th happened.
Every day on October 7th.
Every day.
Every single day. Right? So it was before.
This is absolutely bonkers.
Shut the fuck up, Glo.
Your mom is just shut the fuck
She's
up.
projecting pick me energy, but it's her.
Oh my god, you guys are
Day
so
of October
bootlickers
7
for each other.
You're
Such
crazy.
bootlickers for each other.
You are crazy.
God. Oh, really? I am crazy. I am
Insane.
crazy. You keep Palestinians in the world's biggest open-air prison. World's
Islamic
biggest open-air
propaganda.
prison.
Islamic
wow.
Why are you using buzzwords? Like you don't have other words to use?
I am not calling you a Jewish propagandist.
Cora, you know they have like industry in Palestine.
Oh, look who's back. Look who's back to have Cora's back.
Don't do that. I did not call you a
I'm
Jewish
nothing against
propagandist.
you. Why are you so hostile to me? Because you're disingenuous and I don't understand you.
I did not call you guys
Don't tell
Jewish
me to shut
propagandist. You shut up. I did not call you guys.
No, you're not gonna tell people to shut up.
By the way, the Palestinians have the highest literacy rate in the Arab world. And they
Well,
have
I
the
love
most,
you, I'm sorry that you don't feel it's not mutual. It's okay. I mean,
Do you live in Israel?
my sister does. She lives in the south, and I lived there during the Intifada, the second Intifada.
Do you live there now?
No, my sister does.
Do you live in Israel? But you don't live in Israel now.
No, I live in the States. What about you?
I live in this.
Okay, so twins.
Sure.
But I have family there, and I lived there for a full year, and I visit there a few times, you know?
Yeah, no.
Standard Jewish.
I've been in the West Bank.
Have you been to the West Bank?
I have. To Bethlehem.
It's nice, right?
It is. I mean, it's not some parts. I mean, obviously we saw the refugee camp, and then we also saw the nice suburbs. You know, we saw like the marketplace. It's very beautiful parts of it. But other parts are really sad.
Do you think that do Israelis do October 7th to the Palestinians every day? Because that's what that woman just said.
There is violence in the occupation, by definition. Wouldn't you agree? There is daily violence that Palestinians endure, even the ones that don't hate Israel have a perfectly.
But is there violence from both sides? That they provoke each other? Let's be fair. By shooting rockets at Israel.
So my friends who grew up in. Okay, let me answer. Let me think about that. Is there violence from both sides on a day-to-day basis? My friends who grew up in the West Bank and had to deal with the checkpoints, they experience violence in a systemic way on a daily basis. Okay, yes, the Israelis also experience violence intermittently, right? I'm not denying that. They have real security concerns. But the Palestinians, it's a systemic violence that they experience every day.
Systemic violence. So we clearly saw they can govern themselves after October 7th.
We're talking about the West Bank, which is different than Gaza, Rafi. You have to be able to distinguish between Hamas and Fatah, right? One of them rejects violence as part of their.
What do you mean? We've been talking about Palestine up until now.
No, Rafi said October 7, which was done by Hamas in Gaza, not by the Palestinians in the West Bank, and he's conflating the two.
No, I said.
Do you think the Palestinians need to do anything to like give up something, or like what agency do they have to make peace, or is it all on Israel to do everything possible?
So John, I don't know if you know me very well, but me and my friend Judy from who grew up in the West Bank, we vehemently criticize Hamas. Hamas is responsible for provoking the most right-wing Israeli government in history into what I consider to be genocide, right? Israel is also fully culpable for the way it chose to respond, right? And so, yes, the Palestinian, the Hamas must be accountable to its people who acted unilaterally without a vote to go to war against a regime that was outpowered it and that was going to destroy its civilization in Gaza, and that was a choice it made, and it must be accountable to its people. But my interest primarily is in holding our people and our government and our leadership and our institutions accountable for what they did and their choice to respond the way they did, which is a permanent black eye on our history and our culture and our heritage. And it's something that I feel more inclined. The Palestinians, they are holding the government accountable. They must hold the Hamas accountable. And they must that's on them. My responsibility is to my people.
Your thing is, correct me if I'm wrong, you want Israeli Jewish society and maybe the border Jewish
to reckon with what they've done, yes.
So we're just opposed on
a real reckoning, yes.
Okay, what do you want us to do?
So I want to see I think for the sustainability of my sister who lives there and her sons who go to the army, I want to see a future Israel that's not at war anymore, right? And I think to do that, we need to have, there's no government candidates right now, no, prime minister, in sort of the prime minister's race. There's no one who's actually presenting a plan to deal with the millions of Palestinians that are under Israeli rule and don't have rights of their own, right? And I think that is at the heart of the conflict, right? We need they've just kind of given up, and it's become this indefinite occupation that was supposed to be temporary, now it's become permanent, right? And so millions of people are living in sort of limbo, and I think even right-wingers, even Zionists agree that you can't have people be refugees forever, right? You can't just have people be in limbo. And their solution to the limbo is, just expel them, resettle them, have voluntary migration or whatever. And my solution would be to give them rights. And so the plan that I've been toying with, that actually Amro has introduced me to, and some other Israelis, this guy, Rodi, he's like this Persian Israeli Zionist guy on his own. This plan is basically, it's between 1 and 2 states. Basically, it's like a confederacy where one side is governed by Israelis, the other side is governed by Palestinians, but the borders are open and fluid, so people can move both sides, and you can have residency rights. And there's some, there's very strong protections for prevent tyranny and oppression of minorities. And they have a joint partnership on things like security and resources. And so both parties have a shared interest in fighting terrorism, whether it comes from Jews or Palestinians.
Yeah, I've heard of this. This is going around now.
So I like that plan, but in the interim, John, I think we need to end the occupation, and because it's not sustainable and it's killing us. Okay, and if status quo is killing us, it's led to the worst genocide, worst massacre of Jews since the Holocaust, and the next one will be worse.
So do you think that every town, settlement, neighborhood was removed from the West Bank? Do you think that would not be enough? Like for Israeli government Jews to do talk about Ariel, pretty much all of it.
No, I don't. That's not what I think. I don't think anyone would really have to move in this confederacy plan. I mean, ideally, I think we should be able to eventually work towards one binational state where everyone can share. Listen, there's two people already sharing this land between the river and the sea. It's just a configuration that's not fair to everybody, right? All we're doing is shifting the configuration where we're giving the millions of people that are being ruled over, we're giving them rights. And so if no one would move, we would just have a government that has a shared interest in prosecuting terrorists, no matter which side they come from, right? Because they're all in the interest of they're all acting in the interest of the sustainability and security of their shared land. And that's what we have to work towards.
I'm just curious, I get what you're saying, that would be optimal, but do you think it's possible, if you were to do that, their side would,
instantly massacre the other side?
well, no, not have,
So I know many Palestinians, first of all, who don't want to bring down the downfall of Israel.
I'm sure there's a lot of
even though they have other reasons to hate them, and they live in the West Bank under legal occupation.
But how do you get,
So here's how the map I do when people tell me, oh, there's so many Palestinians are so hateful, and they're already trained, they're socialized to kill, etc. Let's start with the 2 million Palestinians who live in Israel. They don't do terrorism, right? They're pretty well integrated, they run the Knesset, they're overrepresented in medicine and pharmacy, right? The guidelines like to point out, they're very well integrated.
Hold on.
They have crime like all poor communities.
Hold on, John.
Yes, but in all societies, poor marginalized communities have crime, yes.
Hold on, John. I'll do it to Buttercup. Yeah, there are Arabs that are living amongst with the Israelis. Peacefully, some peacefully, yes, they're scribe, this and that, but they're scribe everywhere.
And it's against each other, not against each other.
It's against us and our crimes have been committed because when an officer has to go in to prevent the crime to begin. Israeli officer could be an Arab as an officer, somebody has to be put in danger to control the crime. Whatever, crime is crime at the end of the day, no matter what. How you see the still a ripple effect of crime. But the Arab that is living in Israel went to Israeli school where they didn't teach it. If you got 2 Israelis out of 5, how many are left?
Okay, so let's get to that. I know what you're talking about.
How are you going to re-indoctrinate somebody?
Yes, that's what we're getting to that. So we started with 2 million, right? We have 8 million total, or 7 million, roughly. There's about equal population, 8-point-something million of each Jews and Arabs.
Okay, so and also if they didn't join, do you believe Israel should become a monarchy state? So it's a Jewish state.
No. It's a confederacy. It's a democracy.
So you wouldn't want it to be. So you wouldn't want Jews to have their own state for just in case of an emergency, if anything happens. They don't deserve their own state. Just in case of another Holocaust.
So I don't think.
I think a monarchy at least. Okay, we bring them into the monarchy system.
I don't know what, like a king? A monarchy
Yes, like a Jewish king. Yes, correct. Like a Jewish king. Exactly.
Is that what you're advocating for?
Correct, yeah. I believe there should be a monarchy system.
Interesting. Okay, I mean that's a different one I've never heard before. Most people are
I
like
believe
come
there
down
should be
go
a
to
monarchy.
one monarchist. But anyway,
We should have a king.
okay, can I answer your many questions that you presented? Okay, so we have 8 million, right? 2 million, they're fine, right? They live in Israel, they're integrated. Sure, there's crime, but there's crime everywhere, especially in poor areas, right? So fine, move on. So they're fine. They would be integrated into this new government. Next, we have the West Bank. The West Bank, you have people. It's overwhelmingly secular government. They've had a security arrangement already with Israel for 20 years and have successfully thwarted terror, right? Because they work with Israel and they hand over their security prisoners and literally have been working alongside Israel to thwart terror, right? So they already are a perfect candidate to build on that infrastructure, the robust infrastructure that Israel already has, to create a collaborative security arrangement. And when they're both in, and when there's a law that is applied equally and doesn't only target Palestinian terrorism but also targets Jewish terrorism, then you actually have a society with like a shared interest in securing their shared population. And so I really think the Palestinians in the West Bank, which already work, many of them work in Israel and have very, very long-standing business and diplomatic and security coexistence, I think they would be a perfect candidate to be incorporated into Israeli society and participate in this new government that gives everyone equal rights. The only difference between them and their cousins in the West and their cousins in Jerusalem and Israel is that they don't have health insurance and that they have checkpoints all over the place. And then Gaza is a bigger problem. I don't know what to do about Gaza because I can't imagine that these kids who are living in tents and have rats biting off their face and are living under medical siege and literally emaciated and their families are being killed. I really don't know how they come out of that not hating Israel, right? So it's really hard to talk at people who've literally been running barefoot in tents with missiles falling over their heads, right? And so it's like it could be a huge challenge to overcome.
Hold on, do you believe those kids like Israel prior to October 7th?
Many of them did. I can show you videos of kids who said they waved to Israeli kids.
Hey, Brad, can you add?
They were brought in on some type of thing.
Brad, can you add Yehuda?
Add Yehuda.
He's in the audience.
How can I add him?
Bring him out, humans.
Buttercup,
No, bring him out.
in the Confederacy, did the Palestinians give up Guinea, like, right in return for...
Oh, that's a great question. So the Confederacy I'm not super familiar with, but in this binational states, basically the immigration law, just like the security law, would apply equally to Palestinians and Jews. So whatever the immigration plan is, there would be some kind of right of return, but it would be one that's reasonable and takes into account the new state's resources and is applied equally to both Jewish and Palestinian immigration. And whatever the standard is, like whether you have roots there or whether you have had a home that you lost or whatever, there would be certain criteria, but whatever would be good. You know what I mean?
What if that didn't happen?
If what didn't happen, so this new state would have a constitution.
What if they got everything, but there wasn't the way without the right of return?
A right of return?
And maybe there was something similar, but
So the right of return doesn't have to be literally everyone coming back and taking their houses. The right of return could also be financial compensation for what they lost, right?
That's not a couple other respect. I think this thing was sold like money. This was sold 50 years ago. It's not financial compensation.
Well, hold on, Bill Clinton.
Then why wasn't there? Why haven't there?
Iran said we'll give you $30 million and it was still like,
Hold on, Bill Clinton gave them 95% of what they were asking, which in negotiations work up. When somebody gets 95% in
Yes, sir, it's opportunity. That's not disputed. Yes,
it's a missed opportunity. You saw the wars many
It
times.
doesn't mean you shouldn't do it yet. You should try again because there's missed opportunity.
It's by design, if I may jump in, the Palestinian side.
That was my question. Yeah, you didn't complain about the title change, right? You were thinking about you didn't translate for you. That doesn't speak Hebrew?
You would deem I do, but you've got it backwards. Naked outside. I can see it on my glasses, but what's the point?
Neged Retzacham, that's the title.
Yeah, but I see it in a different order than you do. I see naked outside. So it's backwards for me.
Oh, maybe it's like a different line.
not my room. What are you talking about?
No, Rafi doesn't know. Rafi, I changed the title on him. He doesn't know what it means.
Alright, well, anyways, the shenanigans I'd like to address the topic here, because I know supremacists by design. I mean, I've listened to you quite calm, but I don't know who you are. But I don't like using arguments from authority. I worked in the peace process as a Western diplomat, and I can tell you that nothing is further from the truth. There's a reason why there's 30 years, reasons why Palestinians didn't get a state, and you could blame 16 of those years on Netanyahu, but you can't blame the rest on Israel. It's just not, the reality doesn't.
We're not doing blame game here. We're trying to
but
be solution.
you've made a lot of assertions, I think, that I wouldn't concede to you, which is apartheid, genocide, or the starving of people. Obviously, war is bad, but the reality is, before 67, how many checkpoints were there in the West Bank? It's a trick. After 67, how many were there? When did they start happening? I know a great number of Israeli Arabs who would reject being called Palestinians. Many do, some don't, and some accept Israeli Arab identity quite happily. But one thing you are forgetting, and you glossed over, is that you can't ignore, I think Rafi or John said it, you can't ignore 30, 40, 50 years of inculcation of hatred towards Jews. Now, if you don't know the region, and you said you've been to the West Bank, that's great, but if you don't know what they've been taught...
Do you know what they're taught? I read all the fucking...
You've read all of them, okay. Yeah, they're not talking points.
I've seen all the textbooks. By the way, a lot of those studies are outdated.
Yeah, I'm
And in
not
fact,
talking about studies.
the PA has agreed to reform its textbooks. You know that, right?
Sure, well, the PA doesn't actually control the textbooks.
Yes, they do, actually. They control the textbooks in Gaza and the West Bank.
UNRWA publishes them. I guess you don't know that.
Yeah, but the PA is the one that sets it.
Okay, well, I'm letting you know that UNRWA publishes them. So the problem that the Palestinians and the Arabs in the West Bank and Gaza have had is that they've been abused, I would say, by their own...
The PA sets the curriculum, and they've reformed it. You didn't know about this, Yehuda? They reformed the curriculum?
Listen, in 2016...
Let me send you a link about how they reformed the curriculum.
In 2016...
But hold on, he is right. If it's 2016, that's only... What are we looking at? About...
It hasn't been fixed. It hasn't even been fixed.
No, but a child that was 10 years old is now 20 years old. If he was taught that, he hasn't been reformed. He's already indoctrinated. What do you do with a 20-year-old today, Buttercup? What do you do with these 20-year-olds? I'm
not disputing this, that there's extremism.
So hold on. So the problem is, when was this reformed? Let's say this was reformed 4 years ago, for example, right? So
okay, it's a step in the right direction.
So hold up. Only 4 years ago, a new generation started. So is the 4 year? Are we just bringing it up to 4 years old?
Apparently.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Okay, so at least we started the process, though. Okay.
Okay, so the process has started. How long is it going to take for this process to?
I don't know. Celebrate them with baby steps. But I want to also point out that Israeli young generation has also been extremely radicalized, right?
Right. And guess who I blame?
And I want to point out, Yehuda.
I blame the Hamas. I blame the PA. If you want to talk
about... So it's Hamas's fault when your children are saying Mavet Arabi?
Yes, and also when you're waking up in the middle of the night and running into a shelter, you're going to hate somebody for ruining your sleep.
I'm so glad you brought that up, Rafi. You know why?
Rafi, I'd like to just comment. The same individuals who, what she just said, we are told Hamas exists because of Jews, and now we can say, hey, well, Ben Gvir supporters exist because of Hamas and the intransigence.
No, also, yeah, and beyond that, Yehuda, like, who would it? Their hatred is legitimate.
No, it's not. Their hatred is actually
because their only encounter with Jews is with the butt of a gun.
I'm sorry. There's hatred for their hatred for Jews is inculcated in the culture that Jews are weak.
Are there encounters with Israelis violent or civil?
Well, finally the Israelis were able to stand up and defend themselves. So yeah, they got violent.
The children that grow up there, do they encounter Israelis in a civil way or a violent way?
You want to start? When do you want to pick a day? You pick
the day you want to start history. I'm saying their hatred is justified. It's not. They don't need to be indoctrinated.
Their hatred is not justified. Their hatred is based on anti-Semitism.
Do you know anyone in the West Bank that is like a peaceful person?
In the West Bank?
And ask about their interactions.
I know more Palestinians than you. I've worked with more of them than you, and I know.
How do you know? How do you don't even know me?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Just by listening to you, I can see the depth of knowledge you have in it.
All right, never mind. Well, if you're just going to assume things about me, we're not going to have a good faith conversation.
Well, I don't think you're having. I think you're having a passive aggressive conversation where you're assuming things and you're actually. I think you're glossing over topics that you think that Israelis or Jews that support Israel are conceding to, and we don't. The hatred.
I'm with you. Listen,
know if you're
just like you with the same fucking names.
I know you didn't. I don't know if you're a Mizrahi or Sephardi. I have cousins from Lebanon who I grew up every Pesach listening to the stories of how they were treated in Lebanon. And we're talking about in the 20s and 30s and 40s. That's how old. I'm older than you, and that's how old my great uncle was.
How do you know? How old do you think I am?
I don't know. Why don't you just let me finish and stop deflecting?
You're making a lot of assumptions about me. I'm fucking old as shit.
Yeah, sure.
She's in her late 30s, early 40s, and she thought
I'm 20 years old.
We're doing what we do not do. Everybody just mute up and let Hilda land this plane.
Yeah, so for Jews of the Middle East and North Africa, our experience, we do know, we're not like the Ashkenazi experience to it, we're new to it perhaps 100 years, 80 years. We come from a generational trauma. We come from a generational trauma where we know what it's like to be second-class citizens in the Middle East.
Why am I the only one who knows Hebrew in this room?
I guess when you find facts that you don't like, you just start deflecting and talking about other stuff. I mean, the audience can tell for themselves.
I mean, I don't need to know your whole life story, Yehuda. I know you from Twitter. I know who you are.
You're very disrespectful, I have to say.
Well, calm down, okay? It's not
close talking to Buttercup, by the way.
Buttercup, what the hell? He's telling you about his life. He is a literal Mizrahi Jew. He's from the Middle East. What are you?
I have Mizrahi origins. How do you know?
Wonderful. Well, I'm
let
glad.
her speak then.
Let me finish, please. So
This is how Jews talk, Lo. Get used to it. We're not as polite as Persian.
No, I will not get used to it.
No, but
So that's how we interact. We have overlapping conversation. I don't care.
Buttercup, we have rules. Come on. Let him land. Stop interrupting him. It just makes it longer. It's again, we're
Yeah, and it throws me off. Thank you. So the bottom line is the Jews of the Middle East are quite aware of how we were viewed. And when Jews purchased all the land they lived on from the late 1880s and the first Aliyah and second, every single square centimeter just by Jews that they lived on. And then the Arab nations, after the partition that they rejected, tried to kill all the Jews in Israel, and they lost. Now, Israel did grow in territory, which is legal under international law and Tzabor. If you want to say that because of that fact, post-fact, that every Arab in the West Bank has justified in his hatred. No, they're justified until they become an adult, and then they can learn their own history and realize, in fact, their grandfathers, as the other gentleman said, started a war. Their grandfathers tried to eradicate Jews, and they lost. It's the same reason why in 1967, when Egypt and Syria lost so poorly to Israel, that Nasser and Hussein got on the phone, which was recorded, and said, we have to say that the Americans and the British did it, because God forbid the Ummah think that those cowardly, weak Jews could actually fight. This is a history that you're not even sharing, and I think it's intellectually dishonest, or you just don't know it exists. Thanks.
All right, let's get the ad hominems, okay? We're having a debate.
You're interrupting. Go ad hominems. I can't read Hebrew. Like,
you made a lot of assumptions about me. Let's start over.
Do you listen to yourself? Okay.
Let's start over.
You start with the ad hominems.
How about listen, I've never interacted with you before, but I know who you are from X. And so I want to just introduce myself and like ease the tension a little bit, okay? Tell me about yourself. How do you want to introduce yourself? And I'll tell you who I am, and then we can try to start over without.
I'm fine. I'm fine just discussing the topics.
I think we're making a lot of assumptions about each other, and it's hard to have a good conversation.
I'm only referring to your speech, what I heard you say with my own ears.
You made assumptions about my age, about my competence, about my background.
I'm 20 years older than you. I don't think you either know the history or you're kind of propagandizing. But that's my opinion. I'm entitled to it. I'm not running a thesis.
Let's pull a thread and see what we believe.
Can you guys just note to the stage who's speaking to who?
Buttercup and Yehuda are speaking.
Oh, Buttercup is you. Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So, Yehuda, bitch, you are a liar.
I'm sorry.
Okay, I don't know what this person is.
No, sorry, no. I was just saying that when he brought up the North Africans as Jews, are you crazy?
Huh? This is a crazy. This is just like a debate. I just think this is off stage.
Oh my god.
I know, but I know you guys love claiming that you're the original Native Americans and the original Jews. That's fine. Rafi, just kick her off the stage.
I did.
Anyways, let's get to justified hatred.
Anyway, Yehuda, I'm not like this fucking lefty radical as a Jew, that stereotype that you're trying to make me out to be, okay? I grew up like you with the same narrative and the same history.
You accuse me of judging you, and you're telling me you grew up like me. You don't know.
Sound like an American Jew. That's what you sound like.
Okay. Well, I'm not an American Jew. Thanks.
No? Where are you from? So let's do this. Let's talk about ourselves. Where are you from, Yehuda?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. We can.
I'm from the Northeast. Where are you from?
I'm not from America. How's that?
Okay. Do you want to be friend? Do you want to like? Okay, never mind. I tried.
Yeah, it's fine. Let's just talk about the topic. I'm fine with that.
What do you say?
I live where Rafi lives, apparently. How's that?
Oh, you're Canadian. Gotcha.
The better part of North America, correct?
Gotcha. All right. Nice. You're the polite side of America.
So yeah, I think I'd like to talk about your position when you said that you think there should be confederacy. What buy-in?
I actually don't know that much about the Confederacy plan. I hope it eventually turns into a one binational state with equal rights.
Well, there are equal rights for Arabs in Israel, but I don't have rights in America.
But they rule over millions of Palestinians indefinitely, right? And that's a problem.
By choice?
You agree?
By choice?
What the people choose to be ruled over indefinitely?
No. Does Israel control the West Bank by choice, or was it forced into it?
The fact is, that there's no one in leadership. By choice, they agreed to, with the circumstances, the area A, B, and C.
No. In 67,
they signed agreements.
What happened in Khartoum in 68? What happened in 1968?
You mean the thing with Lebanon or whatever? I mean, with Jordan?
No. So Israel, once it took the West Bank and Gaza, immediately said, "We'll give it all back for peace."
She came after me as I came in the
I don't want to do like a history.
I didn't hear it.
History because it doesn't help you.
No, I read fucking all
But,
the historians. Benny Morris.
I did. She is just the biggest Benny Morrison repeater. It's so pathetic. It makes me want to get a Benny Morrison book so I can actually comprehend what has like brain virused her out. But
I can't believe it. I haven't been on in years. And I came in there and she's vile. It's hard for me to, as a cantor, like to put up with her ridiculousness. And they're all in there.
well, there is a, do you know how I know Hashem is real, Rabbanu Shalom?
Why? How do you know Hashem is real?
Because Buttercup, aka Rachel, or whatever the hell her name is, she's been banned.
Does she call herself Rachel now? She says Buttercup. I just saw her say
No, is her legal name Rachel? Or something like that? Rachel? I don't know.
I have no idea.
Anyways, she's been banned from Israel. She's on the database of do not enter.
How do you know that?
She said it. She said she got doxxed by the Canary mission.
I never heard of that, and I'm pretty involved with what goes on in Israel.
Yeah, she claims that she has been banned, but if you can say it, it is not true. And it doesn't really matter whether she's been banned or not. She loves to say, I'm in the media. I'm in the media. I work in the media. I work in the media.
I never heard her even say that. I didn't know but
She claims that's what her position is. They monitor Rafi, Daniel, Glow, because, honestly, she doesn't shut up, so, like, you can give her an hour segment. I think that's the way they do it.
Daniel, who comes from Israel, who's been in the...
No, some other Daniel. Daniel, I love Israel. Maybe it's him. I don't know.
Okay, does he speak with an accent?
I'm not sure. I haven't heard him speak in the room yet. Yehuda is speaking. But, I just like, part of me is like, I like recording all this stuff, but honestly, it's so pathetic because this is an unrecorded room. None of these people create content personally, as far as we know. And, if they're not recording it, they really are, I'm sorry, but retarded. Because to sit here and waste all your attention and focus creating unrecorded content when you do have political ambition or goals is retarded. So it's possible, you may be emotionally upset at what these people say and how they say it and who they are, but just remember, if they're retarded and you're upset, about what they're saying, you know, the joke's on you. Because she is an effective communicator, but honestly, any woman with a distressed voice, no matter what the message, is always effective communication because it's just like raising sails with wind, you know? It's just the weather. A woman can be a fully automated hurricane, tornado, or thunderstorm.
She's been doing this for so long. You know, I haven't been in that room in a really long time. Not just months, probably a year. And as soon as, like, she just came right after me, and I'm like, so what is Jewish about you? I don't get it.
Well, I think you have to view it from like a political perspective, that she has political goals, ambitions, desires, yearnings, or dreams, or aspiration. And that's really the real reason. Because I have boiled down women like this over hours of conversation, and the extract or the condensed congeal is political.
She's more insane than she is political.
Well, actually, you know who is the most? I got a lot of YouTube videos taken down because of that Emrose. Now that chick is actually like a militant, and YouTube recognizes her as being very dangerous, but not Buttercup. But Emrose is considered a dangerous person.
Yeah, I know the name. I've seen it up there, but I've never interacted or been in a room.
She's an extremist. She says homicidal ideation all the time against Israelis, the Jewish state, the state of Israel. Like the girl is like certified mentally deranged.
Yeah, I know.
And it's not me, it's the YouTube community guidelines being enforced by fully automated algorithms and probably people in the Philippines who have to review the video. But her videos were taken down because she was saying such insanely deranged things. If they can arrest her in Israel, they really should.
Nahal, were you in that room?
The one right
When
now?
I was in? No, Nahal, down below.
No.
No, you weren't. Okay.
But Buttercup
God, it was
claims,
just,
yeah.
wow, she went right after me. I haven't been on a very long time. And she had a full room, and she just like came right after me, you know, and I just left. I was like, go to it, girlfriend.
She can go for a long time. She never stops. She's like a wind. She's like a wind-up
There was
doll.
a big room just now that she's telling. There was a big room, and she's like, "You want to know about grace?" And I'm like, "Oh my God, you're talking to a clergy person. I've never."
Well, see, this is where you could.
About anybody.
This is where you could go in if you could get on stage, because she says she has a big block list. If you could get on stage, I mean, what would your strategy be to communicate with a highly aggressive person?
I left. I immediately left.
Well,
I'm not going to interact. I'm not going to. You know, there are people who are very opinionated. People, we've had disagreements. Listen, I was on Clubhouse for years, and you know, there was this "let's take a step back" moment. You know, that I used to get when I was moderating. Let's you know, work at let's go piece by piece of what are the concerns. You know, like I'm really good as a cantor to, you know, listen, it's not the first time people get mad at their clergy or other people in a congregation, so I've been doing this for a long time. But she just came in and just wanted to rip me to shreds. I haven't talked to her in years. She just, let me tell you about, I'm like, you know nothing about
It's interesting, you know, watching you.
On fucking Clubhouse, I'm a
about
really
it.
legitimate member of the Jewish community in real life.
No, I'm not. You're stating the Jewish community is not my concern, but it is. No, I'm just saying it's interesting because it's, you know, listening to two characters I've never heard talk to each other before.
Who is this Nahali? Why is he on my
Dude,
kiss
I have
line?
nothing against you. You seem like an interesting dude. I've seen you online on X, and you're very good at holding a room, and I'm glad we got to meet finally.
Nice to meet you as well, Buttercup.
I was about to, I was about to tell you the concept of Talmud, okay? But
So I'm like banned from any room that Rafi's in. He bans my accounts but really the thing is, Grace, it's so pointless even communicating with her. That's why I record everything, because I just go the extra step. I do the real work, and I record them. And so that's why I say, if you were to record your experience speaking with a highly aggressive Buttercup, and you maintained your composure and had a rational, respectful conversation, what you're really doing is just exposing her, but you're using yourself as the artistic palette or medium for her to project her internal friction onto you. And in that process, if they watch that, it's possible you could transform their perspective and they would say, fuck, I'm a bitch.
Yeah, no, I think they're using it. I think they're using it for entertainment. That's what they do in that room now.
Yeah, there's there are so many lonely men on the internet that like just talking to a highly obnoxious, extremely annoying person like Buttercup is truly like the most exciting thing they could possibly do in their immediate vicinity, maybe for 30 miles.
Unbelievable that I've been off her for a really long time.
Everybody says they've been off it for a long
She
time.
has any kind of audience. I think people are using her for entertainment.
I agree. It's almost like if you want to record content, you need a cast. And so you're willing to sacrifice some time just for the sake of having a very diverse cast, for the sake of, getting as much information in, even if it's from what you would call the opposition or the anti-position. Regardless, why they allow Buttercup to do what she does is amazing.
And to bring her on stage, like, what are we talking about?
Well, there's a lot. I don't know. There's a lot of. I don't know. People like to play this game the way they like to play it. There's really just a lot of anti-Semites out there that project their internal friction, their angst, their anxiety, their misery, their depression, their rage onto Jews. And if you go to Israel and you jog from Tel Aviv to what's that city town, the Crusader place with the restaurant? Anyways, it's just so diverse, They make the point that crime happens everywhere, but that I just don't accept, and I reject that too. Every major city on the planet shouldn't have a crime problem. I know they have it because of law of large numbers, but is that what it's like in other countries? I don't think so. It's just not,
True.
It's just not. The crime is not in other major cities. Like, fucking Afghanistan has a lower per capita murder rate than just about the top 10 cities in the U.S. So it's like, we allow crime to happen. We allow it. It's like part of the legal industrial complex. And the more progressive and liberal the judges, the more the crime numbers increase, because there are people who are battering innocent people in the street to death that have been arrested 75 times, lighting people on fire on the trains, stabbing them to death, shooting them to death. Like, I followed the news like a news addict for years. There are so many murders that happen on the train. Young military veteran murdered on the train, got no recognition whatsoever. I don't know if he was a veteran. I assume he was a veteran, not like active duty, but either way, he was, a young man. And it's just, there should be like a collective unconscious response that says no more crime, like no more murder on public transportation facilities, like at a minimum, right? Trains shouldn't be homeless facilities, am I right? Hey, Jane! Jane, great news. Buttercup has been barred from entering Israel. She's on a docs list known as the Canary Coal Mine Mission. And we feel great about it because now she can't go to Tel Aviv and she can't enjoy the beach in the summer and get stung by a medusa.
Hello. Hi, Grace.
Jane,
Hey, Jane.
welcome to the show, Jane. We're forming a female minion. You know what they call a female minion in Hebrew?
What?
Rabbanu Shalom. I don't know. There's got to be a word, right? Like a minyana?
No, it's a neutral word, minyan. Yana. When you're going to Mexico.
I was dating this very Orthodox girl in Los Angeles, and then she went to Israel, and she went to a seminary, and she got an arranged marriage, and she came back, and I saw her, and she's like, I'm getting married. I was like, oh, wow, congratulations. That's amazing. So we're listening in to Buttercup. You know, I think that this app...
I was in there.
If this
You were
is...
there, Jane? Did you see when she started with me? I did not. Okay. There was a high energy.
Jane, text Scott. See if we can get Scott to come into the Church of Buttercup. She was attacked.
I haven't been in there in a long time. She just came right at me. I don't even know what she said. What did I say she said, Alistair? I tried to forget it. I don't know. She's a psycho.
And about the way Palestinians don't have rights under the PA, then your argument is with the PA, not the city.
you know that
You're getting sidetracked.
No, I don't know.
I'm trying to find a point of agreement.
No, Arabs in the West Bank are not accorded the rights of Israel. Because they're not Israel. Don't call me honey. Israelis, they're not Israelis. The Arabs in the West Bank aren't Israelis. So why would they have Israeli rights?
I don't say that about anyone else.
Let's focus on the topic, okay? The topic is...
Address any point I've made.
Yes, the point is that we all agree that there's millions of Palestinians that are in limbo, and we...
Hold on, guys. Who is blocking Shuki? Shuki cannot get into the room. I want him unblocked now.
That doesn't make her okay.
Buttercup, you
I have nobody.
Buttercup?
why do you guys mod her? I mean, that's crazy.
I don't ask Rafi. I can't answer this.
No, I just wanted to be fair.
How is that fair?
Scott in the house!
No, it's fine. He mods up a lot of people. It's fine. He just started making rooms. Like,
Yeah, but then
Late night Scott session. Welcome.
Can't believe it.
Welcome, Reverend Scott Kent Jones of the Lutheran LGBTQ Church. Dr. Scott, welcome to the Church of the Buttercup.
Were you in there, Scott?
I'm here. I'm here.
No, were you in with Buttercup?
Shuki is
Who's
like
Buttercup?
if you had
You don't know.
He's in there.
Scott, you know Buttercup.
I don't know Buttercup.
Okay.
Scott, can you text El Normo? Can you text El Normo to come to the Buttercup Church of
I
Buttercup?
know, Laura was in the room. I wouldn't bother.
I wouldn't bother.
Been having problems. With El Norma?
The guy's accurate, Jane. The guy is so good.
I don't want to talk about him.
Well,
We're not mentioning him any longer. I don't want to talk about him behind his back, sir.
no, we're not talking about him behind his back because he's being invited to the room.
Fantastic.
He's
That's
received.
rewarding.
He's
Right.
received a screenshot.
I know El Norma. I'm upset. No, I mean my behavior. No behavior. That would be me. That's me.
Test.
Scott, are you there?
I'm here.
Scott's been having rooms, and I've been having some conflicts there. That's all, Grace. Nothing bad. Scott, what are you doing to my friend Jane?
It's very. I think people are very adversarial in my room sometimes. Not other times not, but it gets very
testy sometimes because, it's an ideological and personality spread when I open a room. So, people are not always, and people, I think sometimes people have a tough time disagreeing
This
without
is
being
Chicago mayoral candidate John Kitover running on the February 23rd, 2027 Chicago mayoral election. I need your like, your comment, and your share.
Yeah,
We're
that is our
here
nature.
in the Buttercup Canary Mission. We're talking with Jews in Israel, in America, who are concerned about security.
I call them,
A lot of conversations about
I call them the
anti-Zionism and genocide. Important topics, but that doesn't address Chicago's $100 billion debt and Illinois' $200 billion debt, does it? Or the $100 million in Chicago Police Department pension payments monthly.
You're not keeping anyone out.
No, because isn't it happen if you're a moderator, which John, so
They're intransigents after the 6-Day War is
then
what
if
led
I
to
have
this
a
problem.
block list,
Those people had Jordanian and Egyptian passports. If they
Alright,
wanted to
I have
live in the
some
state of
I have a
Palestine,
block
let them
list
do it.
too.
It's not Israel's responsibility. And I would say,
I really like it.
that's just
You're my new buddy.
oh, thank you. Favorite word. I have your name tattooed on my
I think anyone listening thought I said at any point expel the
Okay, I'm just a moron. Yeah, I'm just a moron. I'm slow. You got it.
But
Okay,
he was not saying that.
They used to call us the charity
You were saying you
sisters.
would look the other way if that's the direction you're going.
You're going the opposite direction, but she was
Grace and
obviously
faith?
saying
I don't think so.
I don't either.
that she's not, he was saying
My
that
mother
he's
did
not
well.
for expelling the Arabs. And,
Yeah, it's shocking the cognitive.
He wasn't that ambiguous. He was saying it's not for me to decide. Whatever they decide is fine.
We thought we lost
ones who
you.
said that they want to do that. I don't agree with that.
I mean, that's what the polls overwhelmingly say.
That's not what I believe, and that's not.
In an audience, in any clubhouse room.
No, absolutely not.
That's good, and he doesn't believe in that.
Is that true, Scott? Stage or nothing.
That's true, Scott. Isn't it true? Stage or nothing? Yes.
It is totally true. Stage or nothing.
Okay, good.
Stage or nothing.
And I don't know, Ain, and maybe you guys know, and if I'm not pronouncing your name right, please correct me. And who knows, is it Ain?
Show yourself, Ain.
Oh, I don't know what it is. I don't remember anymore.
Hello?
Hello? Do either of you ladies happen to have a cat or have had cats in your life?
Yeah, I've had cats. I have a dog now.
Scott, are you on club deck right now? Well, Scott, if you could put in a good word with Gary Bumgarden, I'd love to try to get an appearance on the show sometime. He says the young kids keep encouraging him to create videos, but he says, "No, goddammit, I write!" But he says the young kids keep telling him to get on those videos, like YouTube.
Gee, this is too funny.
But if you could put a good word in for me, Scott, if you could maybe tell him not to mod Marshall Rankin so Marshall doesn't kick candidate John Kitover out of the stage so quickly. And, I didn't know it's called the Marshall Stankin Rankin Show, but I've alerted Speaker Johnson to his ballot harvesting scam, and I think Marshall is on edge. He keeps saying, "You're obsessed with me, bro. You keep filming me, bro." I'm his biggest biggest publicist.
You might be talking to the air. Where are you, Scott?
Scott's laughing. He's like, "That was a good one." He's like, "He's not a cheetah. He's a snake."
Well, I did listen to this. I was tipped off by Scott, and this is good, funny clubhouse. So you do have a series, quite a catalog of Marshall Rankin.
contact.
Yeah. I'm in a room right now. We're listening to M. Kapara
Whereas before I was unsure, I'm pretty
talk to
confident
Yehud
that
and Shuki.
you're not acting in good faith whatsoever. Your comments are disingenuous.
He's a neo-Nazi. How is it going to be?
Well, the comments you've made in response to what I've said, you've just dismissed everything.
I'm trying to
as
understand
history.
you, Yehuda. I don't know you.
Well, you don't need to understand me. You understand my points. The points are very clear. I think
I believe you. I take your assertions in good faith. You said you don't agree with it. I believe you. I'm just trying to clarify.
I mean, this isn't about ethnic cleansing. No, you're making it about it because you can't deal with the facts I've brought for you, but apparently you didn't know. You didn't know Israel was forced.
Yehuda, come on. We're having a conversation. You're getting very worked up.
We're having a conversation.
Stop being suppressed.
Listen to the words I'm saying. I know in whatever ivory tower it seems you're in the States. I thought you were in Israel, so I gave you more benefit of the doubt, or gave you more leeway. But if you really think that you can just ignore the fact that the reason why the Middle East looks the way it does because the Arab nations wanted to murder all the Jews because they do not like us, and they lost.
No one said that. Now you're putting words in my mouth.
No, I'm telling you, if you think that, then that's...
Well, no one said that. We're just pulling allegations out of the air.
You have blamed Israel for everything. You've said
No, you don't even know me.
I just listened to you for an hour. Before I came in, I heard you.
I criticize Hamas as well. I criticize each government is responsible for their actions.
What a high bar. Hold on. What a high bar. I criticize people.
I criticize the PA. All governments are responsible and accountable for their actions.
You're like a humanitarian. You
Listen,
criticize Hamas. You want to cook
Yehuda, to me, criticizing the government is patriotism.
Wonderful.
Criticizing the government is Zionism. If you want a strong democracy,
the fact that you said you
Yehuda, if you want a
Hamas,
strong and sustainable Israel, you criticize the
You
government.
understand? You should not be proud of saying, "Oh, I don't like Hamas either." Good for you. I don't like
Yehuda, criticizing your government is patriotism. It makes it a strong, sustainable democracy.
And Canada makes great maple syrup. It's not the point. You keep changing the subject. I don't know who this person. Are you a college student?
You're
You
accusing
seem
me.
like a JVP person to me. That's how I feel. I don't know.
Oh my God, this is really ad hominems left and right.
Okay, you're just crying victim the whole time. It's really weird.
I'm not playing the victim. I'm simply explaining my perspective.
Welcome to the show, Contamella.
Wait, am I being the asshole here? You just calling names.
You guys have very different beliefs, but you did come off as very harshly. You were confronting him regarding like what the title was, trying to claim that he did not speak Hebrew. Obviously, I think at this point...
Alright, I'm sorry if that's what offended you.
Yehud is a Jew. He's obviously a Jewish guy. But he is somebody who, I would say, he can correct me if I'm wrong. I would say left of center. He's not far left. He's definitely not on the right, and so you guys are having your differences. And look, I'm mainly just listening because this is just it's an eternal feud at this point. I don't really want to. I don't really think there's any much
Thanks anyway.
benefit for us for somebody like me to really like weigh in.
You're not a very good mediator.
I know. I'm sorry.
I thought you'd be a better mediator, Pepe.
I'm not
For a person that keeps talking about ad hominems and childishness, you're dusting us all here, eh? Like you're complaining that you're being attacked, but you're like mocking everyone. You mocked me because the Hebrew was inverted on my screen, and then I hear any falafel shali me stuff from you, and it's
נאצית מסריחה.
אני לא נאצית, לך תזיין.
את נאצית וחצי.
You're a capo. It's even worse. It's worse. You're a capo because it's
guys, come on. This is a lynch mob, and it's also insulting to my grandparents who survived the Holocaust to throw the word capo around.
Your grandparents are fucking rolling in the grave. Shuki, hold on. They're fucking rolling in their grave. Thank God they're dead because they would literally die just to have a granddaughter like you.
Brutal.
They would die to have a granddaughter like you. Honest.
That is so fucked up.
I don't give a shit. I really don't give a shit.
Literally daily.
Day number one, we're going to cut property taxes 25% in the city of Chicago for all homeowners at a minimum. And we might retroactively refund all of 2025. Day number two, we're going to rip out all the concrete bike lanes that are obstructing traffic, have ruined parking, and are obstructing fire trucks.
Causes Buttercup? Like, do you care about?
Sorry, but the bike lane's gotta go.
You didn't care enough to know the basic history.
We're also going to sue the city of Abu Dhabi and the Investment Authority for taking the parking meters over in Chicago, and we're going to sue Rahm Emanuel. Sorry, Rahm, you're getting
I'm here to
sued.
talk to my people. I think we need to reckon with our
You
past.
don't want to.
She doesn't have any people.
I'm not hurting anybody. I love my Jews. I think Yehuda, let me answer his question directly. I think we're in a battle for the soul of the Jewish identity, the American diaspora Jewish identity, okay?
Try reading a book, Buttercup! Try reading a book!
Your mind or Puppy's mind or anyone else or M's mind.
Where does she think the information comes from?
Engage and have a conversation within our community, because I think we're extremely polarized, and I think there is a battle for our soul and what we stand for. I think
There's a battle for the collective soul of every Jew on the planet, according to Dr. Buttercup in the Church of Buttercup.
Said, oh, we'll never let it happen again by taking up arms and being macho and fighting back.
Would you like a popcorn, sir? Sure, I'll take an extra large. Would you like to put a cup of butter on it?
Have to defend themselves. You're right.
Hello?
No one said that. I don't know why you're saying
Because they had in
that's called
Israel,
a straw man argument.
we chose to take up arms. That's exactly what you said.
But I'm just curious, like Buttercup.
I'm talking about an ethos. Do you know what ethos means? Do you need to look it up in the dictionary?
Yeah, but I know what it is. I know what it is.
Sorry, I refuse to listen to Pepe talk.
There's a lot of things
Pepe is a moron, he is retarded! Pepe is retarded!
You saw people that in solidarity with the pound.
I'd rather listen to opera than some chick scream all day long. Taking you back to the war room with Pepe.
Girl's body and the people are cheering, they're spitting on desperate.
Yes, we all think they are barbarians.
But hold on.
Don't gloss over it.
No, hold on.
They're either a death cult. These are the
Okay. Yes. Hold on. We can agree. Sure. So, what was to be the
I hate to inform the Church of Buttercup, but I have bad news. I have burned the roof of my mouth on DiGiorno. How did you burn your mouth, John? It was DiGiorno.
Yeah, obviously we're investing a lot of money in fighting the Israeli state and basically going to war with them. There's no question about that. These are not people with good intent. They go in, they have a fucking response, and one of the things that has been ironic, and a lot of Westerners have been fooled by this shit, where they just like, oh look, the Israelis, look how horrible they are, look at the dead children. I have a lot of gripes with Israel as well. I won't get into it here. But at the end of the day, what do you expect them to fucking do?
Yeah, okay, a lot of protesters are ignorant, right? They just discovered Palestine on the map yesterday, okay? I agree with you,
What do you
Pepe.
expect Israel to do is what he asked. That's the question.
If that's your bottom line, what do you expect Israel to do in response?
It has to do something after that.
I'll tell you. Oh, great question. Pepe, I agree with you. Hamas must be accountable for provoking the most right-wing genocidal regime ever into what they've done, okay? But what the answer is there are more than two choices, doing nothing and genocide. There are many choices in between doing nothing and genocide, Pepe, right?
I don't know that it's necessarily genocide.
Okay, whatever. There's many. You don't have to call it whatever you want to call it.
Jason, you just came onto the stage. Just give us like a second, because I also had a question.
No, because all you guys are doing is rapid fire. You're not answering. You're just trying to interrupt each other. That's what you're doing. You're not listening.
Well, thank you for interrupting us.
So now when someone else does,
I've been listening for the last like 20 minutes. It's lit faces, right? That's literally all y'all have been doing.
Can you just
Marshall Rankin makes an appearance in a cheetah jacket.
Okay, but was
The
it
Marshall
was it
Rankin
Hamas or the
Show.
people that were spitting on that girl that Pepe was talking about?
I think it was both.
Her.
I think it was both. That's the fucked up part about the whole goddamn.
Yeah, some civilians participated in the attacks.
I'm waiting for your butt to come next.
I didn't say butt.
Okay, great.
Well, in Europe, in the 1930s, is what the Nazis did. It was enough Gentiles that tried to help out for Jews and to save them. There is not even a single one of the Gazan people that came forward to try to save any of the hostage. Therefore, they're all equal to Hamas.
Yeah, and I'll even take it a step further. God forbid someone say...
Oh, wait, you're signing off on that they're all Hamas, Yehuda?
Hold on. Well, why don't you just get a notepad and a pen and write down...
everyone goes with Hamas.
You're not good at this debate.
Here's some mods. Why don't you...
Hold on. Let Yehuda finish. He got cut off.
I've been waiting to ask
Let me tell you
questions.
something. Yeah, good. German Jews, or Jews of Europe, after the fall of the Nazi regime, and I know people like to call Israel a Nazi regime, which is a disgusting slur, but do you think that Jewish partisans after the war would take Germans and murder them and have their children spit on them? There's something wrong in Gaza. 20 years of Hamas rule has inculcated a culture of hate, and that's problematic. And for someone to say, hey, time to make a state, yay, and Israel should be happy, you'd have to be palpable. I mean, 30 years of governance, good governance, no child abuse, right? Teaching a child, I have 2 Molotov cocktails and there are 5 Jews. How many more cocktails?
Honey, let's go to PalestinianBabysitter.com and get one of the new Palestinians to babysit for the family.
You're not a serious person.
Baby, maybe we should think about that one.
After all the kids in Gaza and blame them, but you can't also expect the Israelis to turn around.
Honey, I gotta call the Palestinian plumber.
Have a peace with them. That's just
He's got a higher Google rating than the Irish plumber. Alright, you can call him.
I've been waiting a while. You know what, Chicky? You can take a dick and stuff it in your mouth because all you do is talk shit anyways.
You fucking piece of
That's right, I'm a piece of shit that loves to come at you. You fucking...
We're not going to do this, okay? Shuki has been on stage for longer than you, Jason. Let's give him the opportunity.
I wait.
You can go because he was your first.
You that shit. People try to take turns.
Stop interrupting.
You like to hear your own...
Stop interrupting.
You don't know...
Please stop.
You love to run a... You don't get peace because you believe in bullshit. I'll call it out for what it is.
Like what's happening? Every child that going to school, and getting that material as a study is a future terrorist. Therefore, there's no right to live. You kill them before they become to be stage 4 cancer. You don't wait for them to get to the whole stage. You kill them when they are small. It's that simple.
All right, everybody, go to ChicagoMayorVote.com. Like, share, subscribe, and comment.
Of course not. Of course not. You never disagree with that. You see the notion for peace, but only on your terms.
I do think that Shuki is partially correct. I do think that
What, to kill innocent babies?
No. Hold on. Okay, so when it comes to how a person becomes who he is today, is a mixture of nature and nurture. I do think that if you were indoctrinated, look, I was raised Catholic, and I'm not a very religious person now, but I will tell you that really to this day still kind of has that effect on me. But when it comes to just in general, people, how you're raised absolutely is going to have a profound impact. I think obviously your genes are going to have a lot to say in that as well. And when it comes to the Palestinians, I don't. It is super dark to say, and I'm 100% against killing innocent civilians and children. But do I think that when they are indoctrinated at a young age, I have to at least there's some credence to that. Yes, that those formative years of their lives where they are taught to hate another group of people and to be willing to martyr themselves and murder a specific group of people. They're so there's no. It obviously has an effect.
So here's what I'm thinking what's happening, more or less, since October 2nd happened. Israel starts to decide to clear on Hamas. That's a ideology, right? It's sponsored by many different countries and other groups, right? Where people have a problem that they see bird's eye view is Israel fights back with an organized army, military targets, air support, naval support, everything an organized army or an unorganized army that the Palestinians have under Hamas. They feel, how can you fight a war is not fair? Period. Whoever has a better gun and has a strategy wins. But what you keep doing, creating a generation of revenge, and society's claiming they're oppressed. So when you try to say that it was a genocide to what we did, till we got back at them, you're fighting a thought, not just a people. Because Palestine is a country. It's not a recognized territory that has civil rights in its own territory. It's determined by who? The UN? The UN doesn't do shit for them. And I'm not trying to be propelling, but let's leave the playing field level. It's people have a problem when they see war and on a catastrophe site, seeing it's leveled. And like smart bombs, these aren't regular bombs, these are not £1,000 bombs. It's smart bombs that take out neighborhoods and fights against an organized army. There's no chance. But they count on one other thing that they know that they can get, and that's propaganda. That they know that visual aids through social media and global networks makes Israel look really fucking bad.
Okay, you expected Israel not to respond because hold on, no, I'm gonna finish what I'm saying, because the Gazans can't protect themselves and they're not equipped like the Israeli army, right?
No, I'm not
Maybe they shouldn't start using
My whole question originally was what did you expect them to do, though? But you responded to my question is what did you expect Israel to do? We can look at a lot.
The problem of what they feel is an unfair war.
Yeah, Israel's trying to declare it.
Your feelings don't matter, Jason. Your feelings don't matter. Other people's feelings don't fucking matter. It does. You said I as well.
Listen, Israel doesn't care about international opinion more than it cares about survival. So Israel is that hospital loses its protected status. No one will fault you if you attack it. So you want to say, man, of course, the same for Hamas, especially for Hamas. A mosque, of course, yeah, a masjid. A mosque, anything, when you use a building for terrorist activities or for military purposes, if it's a normal country, then that building loses its protected status. If you're so upset about so many buildings blown up, then you should take it up with Hamas at their next
This is not a first look.
yeah, no, it is.
Jason, you're from Mexico, okay? Like, you know for a fact, that you're a Democrat. Well, no, hold on a second, but you know for a fact that if there was Americans getting, hold on, Jason.
If you talk to me about a colonizing idea of warfare, you're talking the wrong fucking idea.
Okay, but no. Hold on. I'm talking about contemporary. Jason, if there was something tragic to happen to Americans, the Mexicans would not be celebrating. If you were to have a dead, mangled girl being driven across the fucking border in a truck, okay, the Mexicans would not be spitting on it, hitting it, cheering. They would not do that. There is obviously something very different in how these people were brought up, in comparison to really most groups in the world. I think you're kind of...
Let me ask Jason a question. Jason, if
they're going to take a position against Israel, and I'm not. I'm pointing out that people cannot handle the cyber warfare and how
That's a little too bad, though. Because that's our reality, and we don't want the war either in the sight of war.
So Jason, the comments he made about the professional army, how long do you think it would take in Israel if it didn't care about civilian deaths or casualties? How long do you think it would take in Israel to completely level or take over the Gaza Strip in its entirety? Give me a number, like a day, how many days, how many hours? How long is it?
All out war, 8 days.
So
We've got strategic bombs that can take out whole neighborhoods. We're not talking regular warfare. We're talking about decimating neighborhoods.
Jason, do you know what a battle group is?
I do know what a battle group is.
Alright, so how far is it bound for a battle in one day?
Depends on what you're using as a mechanism as far as your artillery and your mechanized movement, heavy machinery.
So the answer is 20 to 40 kilometers a day. Now, do you know how long...
Is that your estimate or is that your experience?
That's my experience. So,
where does that come from?
Well, when I finish the answer, you'll figure it out. I don't really want to talk about myself. But the Combined Arms Maneuver Unit of the Battle Group, which is the smallest one that NATO countries use, can cover between 20 to 50 kilometers depending on the terrain. Gaza is a flat expanse. Israelis could have been taking 3 battle groups, not even 2, and positioned them in the south and the north. It's about 10 miles. So they could have done it in an afternoon. If they did, they'd kill hundreds of thousands of civilians. But if they didn't care about civilian death, that's what they would do. The fact that it took them almost 2 is because they were trying to isolate, identify the Hamas terrorists, the targets, the tunnel, the depot, the muster points. That's what they were doing. Now, you have a great point. I'll give you this. Is the world. Well, again, Israelis don't have the luxury of caring what you think or other people think. They have the luxury of defending the people. Hamas didn't. It wasn't Israel who declared war on Hamas. Hamas declared war on Israel by what they did on the 7th of October. There's no nice way to talk about it. There's no emergency to sugarcoat.
I don't disagree with that at all. That's the thing is like when you look at what the U.S. had to go through in Iraq, and also Afghanistan. 10 years of hard coordinated war and lots of fallout. So yeah, I understand.
I have to go to sleep now. Thank you so much for this.
Take care, Grace.
Without any restriction, it can be done really easy.
Again, here's the difference between the Americans' experience in Iraq and Afghanistan. This is on Israel's border. So this is Mexico or Canada doing something when Hamas took over, everyone said to Israel, oh, maybe nice, just work with them. We prefer not to, the Israelis said. But, don't get involved, maybe we'll go back to the PA, and there'll be another election. What did Hamas do? They threw PA officials off buildings and dragged them dead on ropes behind motorcycles. It is a death cult. I'm not saying all of Gaza is a death cult, but there's a large number of people who have bought into it, and they've been raised by the system. Yes, there are Gazans who don't support Hamas, but even the ones that don't support Hamas aren't really fond of Jews either. So Israel's damned if it's not all damned.
Those are supposed to support Hamas. Those who don't support Hamas, they still hate Israel.
That's what I just said.
Not that they are not fine. No, afraid of Israel. They hate Israel. There is a big difference between fan and hate. Big difference.
Yeah, well, no, it's an expression that is an issue. They're not a fan of Israel. It means they hate them. That's what it means.
So I'm looking at the question where it says, is Zionism a supremacist by design? Is that a legitimate question? Does deem it self-sustaining? Is it really supremacy? Or it's protecting its interests and its borders and its sovereignty? I don't think you can put that word, supremacy in the equation.
His speaker changed it since she left.
But it's like you've had, like, Jews and Muslims have been at war for a very, very long time, and it just never stopped. Battling has never stopped. They will not see eye to eye. That's the one thing. It's like the world tries to play like you want to hand in your peace. The ones that can really solve it is the ones that hand, not us.
Jason, for the 98% of the history of the Islamic Caliphates, Jews were never at war with Muslims. Jews were a very small minority, so it's really not. It's really Jews were persecuted by the Middle East, homogenous majority for 1,350 years. So it's not really like a tit for tat thing.
No, it's battle, and I understand Jews have had to migrate to many different areas for a long period of history of time. They've had to go to the north, they've had to go to Poland, Russia, and ongoing. They've had to find where they can live. If they can't live at home, I mean,
hold on, let me just say this, Jason. I want to hear your reply. Since before the Christian state of Israel, there were grand total of 0 times where Jews attacked Muslims. It just didn't happen because there was no Jewish army, there was no Jewish state. We've been in exile for 2,000 years. The only time anyone who's a Jew was able to be a part of a military and defend Jewish interests was the creation of the state of Israel. Right? So I'm just taking particular umbrage to your comment. You said Jews and Muslims fighting society's revenge. No, it's Muslim empires dominating Jews, exiling us here, exiling us there, killing us when it's convenient, using us when it's convenient. So this is not a like pure on pure war. You know what I'm trying to say? If you want to talk about Christianity and Islam,
no, I understand that. Okay. What I'm saying was never to be like I look like anti-Semite or I'm pro-Palestine or I'm pro-Muslim. But when I look at things from an outsider view, not trying to, let's just say, persuade a point of like who gets better favor or who you feel sorry for. Look, you fuck around and find out. You punch someone in the eye, don't be surprised it comes and punch you in the gut later. It's just what happens.
Yeah, but I'm just saying it didn't start like in this. I just would agree with you. I don't have your sympathy either, and I'm glad you're not it. I'm saying that from Israel, I'm not Israeli either, but I understand that I know I'm cousins of Israel, and I'll say this: if you go back to the land that someone else takes you out of, and you buy your land back from the people living there, and you build settlements, and you build cities, and you build a post office, and treasure mines. That's other people who hate it because you're Jewish try to murder you and say, well, we're running your bones into dust and finish the job that you didn't finish. If that happens and you've been in that war, I don't fault an Israeli for saying, I don't really give a shit what you think, and I don't care what you trick other people into thinking, because I know where I come from, and I know what we did to build this country, and I that. But Jews came back to the land using Jews. They purchased their country back from the people who took it from the people who took it from us. Right? So this is not a peer on peer. This is not a rectification. It's not a holy war between Islam and Judaism. This is a region that didn't develop like Europe. Europe had the Enlightenment, and Napoleon emancipated the Jews. Different place, different cultures, different realities. But since the creation of the state of Israel, Israel has fought defensive wars time and time again and have always won. I would argue that the Palestinian refugee crisis is a very calculated attempt to isolate Israel because the Arab countries cannot defeat Israel on the battlefield. Take it for what you will, for whatever reasons you believe. And so they figure we can delegitimize them by basically making these Arabs live in perpetual refugeehood. There's one international UN body for refugees, for hundreds of millions of refugees all over the world, and then there's a separate one for Palestinians for some bizarre reason. And in zero cases for every human being on the planet, zero cases where a refugee mom and dad moved to Canada, there are zero cases where their children, their grandchildren, and their great-grandchildren are called refugees. If you hear this a lot, the previous lady you spoke wanted us to believe there are 5 million, 8 million Palestinian refugees. There are 5 million Palestinian Arabs in 1848 or 67. They're counting sons, grandsons, great-grandchildren, in some cases great-great-grandchildren. It is a refugee problem. It's a refugee problem that seems to grow. It doesn't help the Palestinians. In fact, it creates a culture of people who believe they've been really put in by the Jews or Israel, and it doesn't help them in the end. It's just that simple. You know how many Palestinians were displaced? That means people who fled before the war even started. And how many of them are alive today? Numbers range from 30,000 to 150,000. But if you look at the Palestinian, the UN Refugee Agency for Palestinians, they'll say there's 8 million Palestinian refugees. How is that physically possible? You don't become a refugee when your parents were born in Canada, and you're born in Canada, but you're of Palestinian extraction, and the Palestinian Authority gets to take $1,000 per male Palestinian person on the planet, and that's what funds the grift. They're not doing the things to make peace. They're not doing the things to build the country.
I agree. I'm not saying you're telling me. I've already heard so many times in so many different conversations with Pete. Rafi makes the same real. It's like to prove what? What do you want to know about Zionists? You want to know that they'll defend their country? Absolutely no. Do you want to know what's the difference between a Jew living and a Zionist? Depends on how you support the government. And the thing is, when people get caught up in the middle and they start having opinions about other people's affairs, they don't like it when it's in their own backyard. Like, hey, I'm Mexican, okay? My country, where I live, this was colonized. This was taken and stolen away from its native people. And then they tried to decimate us. They tried to wipe us out. They tried to create platforms where we couldn't even agree, because in order to live in the United States, live in your land, you had to agree to some kind of delicing treatment. What it was doing was making women poor and making men impotent. And that was just one of the tactics that the U.S. used against its own people. So I understand exactly, when you want to, get what you want to colonize land is, like someone took it from you, and you had to flee, and then you come back, and then you say, are you surprised? I'm probably more. No, I'm not surprised. And it's still going on now. We need to be here in the U.S. and California with so ICE. ICE is used against brown people, specifically, even if they're American citizens. And you people, my wife included, have had to walk around with fear of being hunted. We know exactly the costs. We hear other people's debate and problems. We're just looking at, like, there are people in my culture that support Palestine 100%. There are people in my culture that don't. But I think when we try to play a hand and try to solve it for them, that's a problem. I don't want to fight somebody else's fight. That's
right. Someone was asking to fight Israel's fight. They don't.
Yeah, I mentioned that it was Muslim
Now, the guys tell you how to do it as people. And allegedly, a Jewish rabbi said, oh, execute all the dead. While it lined up 600 men, boys, pulled down their trousers, and they had to make hair, chopped up the blood, and filled into a little ditch. Now, that's the worst instance of genocide that we historically really know about. That they're like lining up a certain group of people and eradicating them to where the men cannot have children and the women become sex slaves. This is just historical fact.
This region, that's your first notion of religion.
This region.
Yes.
No, he's referring to the relationship between Islam and Jews, and you know, it's in Islamic teaching about the battles, the Battle of the Trench is what he's referring to, the Jewish tribes of Banu Nadir